Panibagong linggo at panibagong mga laro dito sa CFPH Impact Summer 2025. Week 4, day 1 na tayo mga tropa, and the competition just gets hotter and hotter each week. Ako pala si Ramon, kasama ko si Sneaky Frog. Kami ang inyong casters para sa buong araw ng Impact Summer Week 4. Kamusta ka pala, Sneaky? It's been a wonderful ride 1 month into the season.
Ayun nga, barely had any sleep during the weekday, not gonna lie pare. Pero yun nga, excited to see what this series or what series of series is have to offer. For today's games, obviously, we do have ayun nga, for the second series natin, isang napakabigati na matchup with two Titans, and para naman sa first na series natin para dito sa ating day, it is both teams actually still clamoring dito sa standings natin pare.
Totoo pare, talagang habulan na nga lang, lalo na dito sa week 4 natin kung saan everybody medyo may understanding na tayo kung sino yung mga nasa taas, kung sino yung mga nasa baba, kung sino yung mga umahabol in the middle right now, as it's also a good time para pag-usapan nga naman yung buong tournament as a whole. Impact Summer 2025, ito yung napakagandang opportunity para makahabol ang mga hindi nakakwalify na Masters, whereas we're in the group stage ngayon. 8 teams na naglalaban-laban sa isang single round robin. Lahat ay best of 3, so talagang nakukuha nila yung mga best nila dito sa ating competition. Whereas in the playoffs, yun yung mga pinapaglaban nila mga spots dito habang naghahabol sa standings. It's 4 teams, single elimination, best of 5 sa lahat para lang ma-prove na sila ang karapat-dapat na nandito sa Impact.
Yeah, and that is single elimination pare. So if you do lose, you are out of the tournament, and that is the stakes that we do have as soon as we approach itong top 4 natin. We take a look at the prize pool. Of course, champion does get $700. Second place will get $500. Third will get $400. And ayun nga, so on and so forth. So there is still pretty big purse para ipanalo nga dito sa laruan natin. But I think this is more likely teams chasing those 2 spots dito sa play-ins natin pare.
Totoo pare, talaga nga namang malaki ang incentive sa mga gustong mag-grind, and not only will this give them the amount of money na nakalagay dito sa screen nyo, but it also gives them entry sa play-ins nga naman ng regional playoffs. So it will be a do or die sa lahat ng mga nagtatry na makahabol, as we're also gonna be showing up para sa ating susunod na standings nga pala as well. Kasi kung makikita mo pare, yung landscape ng buong Impact ngayon ay napaka-importante. Makita mo kung sino yung mga nasa taas at kung sino yung mga nasa baba. Rhea 7 Ermita, Sunday's Room solidifying in top 1, top 2. Pero arguably, Heroics can have an opportunity para sabihin nating itaas yung sarili nila, either above Sunday's Rooms or even above Rhea 7 Ermita with how close the round differentials are. At kapag naging 2-0 to, baka makakuha sila ng kanilang deserving na top 1 kung aabot nga tayo doon.
For sure. I think Rhea 7 has gotten a bit lucky on the draw pagdating sa kanilang schedule with that 3-0. Obviously, yung R7 facing yung XPT and facing itong AGT, no? So it hasn't been too much of a challenge para sa kanila going into this tournament. So ayun nga, I would want to see them going up against a lot better teams dito sa Impact before I really express yung opinion ko dito pare. But yeah, I mean, still impressive that they're still standing at the top. Sunday Shrooms, obviously, second place. Siguro yung top 4 natin is slowly starting to form dito sa standings natin. Pero yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, Xypher Pro Team, if they can notch a win and matches somehow kung natalo sila today, pare, that fourth position might change.
Totoo pre, talagang sa sobrang close nga naman ang sinasabi mong top 5 pataas, doon talaga tayo nagkakaroon ng malaki yung debate kung sino yung deserving na makuha yung mga slots nila. As we're also gonna be showing kung yung schedule natin for this week's Impact, we have Vengeance versus Xypher Pro Team for our first BO3. Heroics versus Matt Jess, yan ang isa sa mga hinihintay kong matchup all week nga yun, diba? Kasi it will be a question kung deserving nga ba ang Heroics maka-breakthrough dun sa top 3 slot nila at matalo ang isa mga pinaka let's say influential na organization sa CFPH na Matt Jess were also kind of notched down from top 2 to top 4 pagkatapos ng kanilang performance last week in Impact Summer. And tomorrow naman, it's All Sovereign versus AGT, 2 of the teams na kailangan talagang tutukan ang kanilang performance since medyo lackluster yung nakita natin so far, pero ibig sabihin nun mataas ang potential. Tas may Sunday Shrooms versus Rhea 7 pa, which definitely will be a good time to watch out for.
Yeah, especially that last series dito sa day number 8, no? This is realistically yung first challenge ng Rhea 7. Obviously, Sunday Shrooms not too far behind dito sa kanilang record, no? So, that match 2 in day 8 probably gonna seal whoever is gonna be in that first place position, pare. And, yeah, that would be a heartbreaking loss for both of these teams, considering I really feel like they also feel like they can take that first place position. But of course, that is going to be tomorrow. We're going to have to see what's up with itong Vengeance at Xypher Pro Team. To be fair, no, this first series, I am a bit worried para dito sa Vengeance. I think they also have the tendency to lose against yung mga newer teams from what I've seen. Galing sa mga ibang local land nila dito, pare. It's just a matter of consistency, no? For the rest of the team. I think yung magandang reference dito, pare, is both teams have played itong All Sovereign dito sa ating Impact so far. And yun nga, XPT obviously having a lot of an easier time dito sa All Sovereign, no? Kumpara nga dito sa Vengeance na medyo nahirapan pa, pare.
Totoo. Talagang sa kalakig ba naman ng naging difference nung naging matchup nila against Al Sovereign from both sub-base and compound. You can definitely tell that there's something brewing, something cooking nga naman for Xypher Pro Team, no? So we'll have to wait and see kung ma-unlock nga ba ni Hexa yung pagiging aggressive niya on the lurks, so kaya yung mga times na naging consistent si Kristan, how far will that go for him? Kasi sa lahat ng weeks na nakikita natin siya, never siya naging negative. Talagang always positive, always present para sa kanya. Whereas dito naman, para sa Vengeance, makikita natin yung mga peaks nila, no? Hindi ko talaga makakalimutan yung 31 kills na meron si Kara on one of the maps that we have. I believe it was Black Widow on one of the top teams dito on Impact. So, ever since, hindi na siya nakapagpakita ng ganong gilas katulad ng dati. So, we'll have to wait and see kung mababalik nga ba ng mga star players yun ng Vengeance. As we're gonna be moving on into our map veto in just a bit. Talagang expectations kung ano yung magiging factors dito on the matchup itself. Ankara, sub-base, and port. Xypher Pro Team will get one of the map picks that they like to pick out sa mga teams na katulad ng Vengeance. Whereas Vengeance, well, they played Ankara so many times na I believe hindi okay lang sa kanila na i-50-50 yung matchup to against any team just like Xypher Pro Team.
Yeah, knowing yung Betchy history dito ng Vengeance, no, they actually really do love the map of Ankara. It is one of their more standard maps, no, that they do know how to play. So I was expecting that na lalabas dito sa series natin. I was not expecting sub-base para dito sa map 2, considering na Xypher has also been playing a lot of compound dito sa Impact and obviously to varying success, no, pare. Pero feeling ko against a team like Vengeance, I would have actually loved to play itong compound up against them. Pero fully knowing in Vengeance, they also have their fair share of experience sa mapa na yun. But a very interesting map number 3, man. I mean, this is gonna be down to whose sniper is better dito sa port, pare.
Totoo, pre. Totoo, pre. And if we do actually get there, yun talaga yung malalaman natin kung ito yung magiging difference in the matchup right now, no? So we have a map kung saan magiging influential yung magiging BL side ng Xypher Pro Team sa pagsisimula nila. Tapos sa sub-base, I think Vengeance will have to pull a little bit more stretch dito sa BL nila on the start of it. Kasi if you kind of notice, Xypher Pro Team, hindi sila yung type of team na heavily prioritize yung second mid that a lot of the teams in PH Masters have been doing sa weekends natin. So parang usually yung kanilang nagiging structure is to have more priority doon sa pag-hold on that P site as well as yung extremity natin doon sa may lockers. Sometimes they also like to play aggressive, sometimes they aren't. So we'll see how it goes kapag dating doon sa kanilang GR side. On port, as you mentioned, the battle between the snipers. Inverse, will he have a good time on XPT side or will this be a chance to shine para kay Azinet, who, let's be real, pare, he's been pretty much inconsistent habang tumatagal yung nagiging run ng Vengeance, as it will be a substitute.
What? My prediction might change because of this substitute, pare. Not gonna lie. As much as yung ano, I'm gonna admit, man, I have zero to no information dito kay CJ, pare. So this is gonna be a complete mystery para sa akin, which doesn't often happen, no. Doesn't often happen, that's for sure. Pero knowing kasi Vengeance, no, they have a history of picking up yung mga LAN players natin. So why not, man? Malay mo, CJ could be a big surprise or big disappointment. Di pa natin alam, pare.
Sana'y hindi mangyari sa kanya yung nangyari kay ME na nakalimutan na makapag-armor dito on one of the past weeks. So shoutout nga pala kay ME at sana ay naalala ni CJ na gamitin yung kanilang mga items para sa pagpasok dito. Definitely ayaw natin mangyari na madali siya mapatay ng mga M4s, ng mga AKs natin. But we'll have to wait and see, di ba pare? So ang Kara set 1, Vengeance picking up that map for themselves. They're the type of team na they kind of have like a pretty default playstyle. Sometimes they would like to put a lot more control dun sa mga extremities natin. Pero sometimes they kind of let that go. And a team like Xypher Pro Team where they kind of like to analyze kung saan yung butas ng kalaban nila, they could kind of exploit that pare kung mahanap nila ng butas yung kalaban nila.
Ayun nga, I think you're definitely right about yung parang default heavy playstyle ng Vengeance. I think that's kind of their play to a fault, no pare, to the point na paminsan-minsan, wala nang gagawa ng play. That means there's a lot of space on the map to play with kung kayo yung BL. We're gonna go for the predictions dito sa series natin. Obviously, we saw who got subbed out. So, siguro ako, I'm gonna go XPT 2-0.
Oh, alright. Sige. You know what? I'm kind of with you. I'm gonna put 2-0 XPT then. I think the sub will actually have a lot of effect pagdating dito sa magiging matchup ng Vengeance. Malaki yung naging epekto ni Sua sa role niya as a rifler. So I think he will be missed. But I'm also giving room para dito kay CJ na makapag-show us ng kahit anong dito. So we'll have to wait and see. 2-0 para sa pareho natin XPT for me and Sneaky Frog, as Vengeance will have a lot of things to prove right now. Kung kailangan pa ba nila si Sua, kung kaya ba ni CJ i-hold yung mantle niya as the new rifler coming in, will he be a rifler? We'll have to wait and see pare.
Yeah, gonna be a very interesting thing to see, no? Especially dito sa map number 1, knowing yung impact dito ni Suwa, no? And his synergy with itong si Kara, pare, when it comes to the rifling dito sa team ng Vengeance. It's gonna be slightly harder siguro na mag-take ng mga sites, considering na you might be out of sync, no? With the new player here kasi you're so used to playing with your usual support dito, and yun, no, that slight disconnection might be enough para dito sa XPT to get something going. Pero to be fair, no, para naman dito sa XPT, their run hasn't been too bad dito sa tournament natin. Obviously, yun nga, no, they took a map off of itong R7 dito sa first CD. Granted, compound ga yung mapa na yun, no? But still, very, very impressive galing sa XPT so far, being a newer team dito sa liga natin. And this would definitely be a test kung anong level ba talaga sila dito. Are they gonna be an impact team that can beat itong Vengeance, maybe contest dito sa top 5 or top 4? Depende pa talaga yun kung magpapakita dito yung XPT. Pero ayun nga, I mean, Vengeance also has very, very nice, very, very good players, pare. If all Reds can pop off at the right time, then yun nga, no, everybody's happy para sa kanila dito. And if Azanet can actually find yung mga flanks na nakikita natin usually galing sa kanya, then yun nga, could be a different story. Pero yun nga, no, it's a gut feeling na XPT is gonna 2-0 this, pare.
It is a gut feeling, but sometimes yung mga gut feeling natin ay medyo tama, lalo na the factor ng sub. If CJ is gonna be able to do well pagdating dito sa kanyang debut on Vengeance. So it is XPT starting on BL. They already have control doon sa may CA. Hinahayaan na lang yon ni Kara na hindi alam kung may tao doon sa labas ng A site itself. So free coverage papunta doon sa may mid site for XPT, while again, Vengeance, pinag-usapan na natin yung default playstyle nila, and it looks like that passiveness is costing them yung control nila sa may bypass at saka doon sa may top mid.
Oh, Hexa, peeking around the corner, bit late on the reaction para dito kay Aldrets. Tunnel speed position, can it be compromised para sa Vengeance? As I like this galing sa XPT, they're keeping it patient. Parang tinatempt nila ditong si Aldrets na mag-repeak sa TB. But then they're just waiting for the fourth player to come in. Aldrets seen in the smoke. Good shot galing kay Inverse. Pero meron pang player na nasa loob ng hotel. Is he gonna actually make the crossfire happen in time? CJ getting the headshot kay Inverse. Pero barag na rin siya dito. Mukhang hindi. Actually, he's still on 100 HP. I thought he was actually dinked dun sa first swing. Azanet still getting control dito sa hotel. Kristan with the late lurk. Doesn't get it nung si Kara. 2 versus 3. Low HP si Azanet. Hexa down to 1 HP as well. Ang ganda na ng simula dito sa round, but XPT couldn't find the shots in time dito, pare.
Medyo may reposition pa nga itong si Hexa, even costing the proactiveness. And Frame with a double kill. What a spray transfer. Jelly spots him 1v1. Hexa, wrong place, wrong time. But will he be the hero para sa XPT? Jeloy Sa ilalim lang ng stairs natin, bumaba na hagdanan,
Oh!
spot na agad, lots of damage, pero mukhang honti na sana. Mapapatay ni Exa, pero Jelloy stands tall, 1 HP and a nightmare para sa XPT. That's the first round para sa Vengeance.
Yeah. 1 HP is the difference. 1 bullet could have swung it in the favor dito ng XPT pare, pero yun nga, as soon as that peak crunch happened, they needed to take out the hotel player immediately. Kaso Asinit holding on just in time as yung kanya baka teammates dito does rotate back in that B site. So very well played. Galing dito kay Asinit and the boys over inside of the site. Let's see kung tuloy-tuloy pa to para sa kanila. Hexa, first one down. CA position gonna be denied para sa XPT.
Kristan's
Grabe,
also
just
gonna
keeps
get
going.
treated na agad. CJ's been doing a good job so far sa first 2 rounds natin. No? Probably early to tell, pero haven't been seeing a lot of mistakes coming through from him. Alrets and Jelloy, they follow through with 2 kills yet again. So Vengeance on their GR. Very chill. Pero okay naman yung map control nila dito. No? As you said, denying yung CA and also knocking out tong CF on the lurk as well. So a lot of good points for Vengeance. No? So first 2 rounds nila, they're showing proactiveness on their defense and they're not letting XPT even get any sort of map control.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of denial para dito sa Vengeance, pare. XPT still have yet to execute dito sa A site natin. It's been purely that B position. So, tamang tingin na lang sila dito. No more CA denial para sa mga players dito na Vengeance. Instead, they're gonna keep their hands within the ride in the sites. So take papunta dito sa B. Alrets waiting for the swing around the corner. Not more patient this time. With the sniper not peeking dito sa TB. Another player actually holding that angle para sa kanya dito. 1:45. This will be a very early execute kung gagana nga sila dito. Hexa round the corner. Doesn't get itong si Asinit. Instead, he will actually get tagged. Big miss galing kay Alrets. Asinit getting to dito sa tunnels B. Tosses a nade pero mapapatakbo na lang siya dito yung C4. Medyo malayo pa. CJ getting Ephraim. Inverse. Napakalayo pa. Actually, Leo finally getting itong si Asinit in that tunnels B position. 2 versus 3. Leo around the corner. Gets shot in the head. Inverse. Nice shot. It's a 2 versus 1. Pero di pa tapos. Vengeance spotting Inverse in the wooden box. Tako po tuloy-tuloy na yung wallbang. Jelloy 1 HP. And another 1 HP clutch para sa Vengeance, man. These rounds are heartbreaking para sa XBT.
Oh, sayang man. Kasi you could tell that XPT were just that close. Inverse had the Colt and the perfect time. He kills off the first player. Pero I think he ran out of bullets. Either that or nagulat siya na ganun nakalapit agad yung last player ng Vengeance. So it really is coming down to those minuscule moments, no? As Jelloy starts strong with that LA push. Inverse gets that 1-for-1 trade off the sniper. Doing a lot more damage. That has to be done. Papunta dito sa Vengeance so far. It's a 1-for-1. The CJ, he's been up with 5 kills so far dito sa 4th round natin. As a lot of eyes are on him to actually pick up the mantle para dito kay Sua, who has been subbed out. But as we see it, it's XPT with 4 people strong doon sa pagpush nila over at Vents.
Yep. Alrets perfect position dito sa top 8 to cover that EA position. Pero Alrets having to play room, having to be careful about yung swing dito. Crosshair's a bit high. Pero isang A-side execute na lang ba to? Alrets around the corner. Ephraim actually spotting him. Maybe not staying under the stairs is not the best decision dun, Mr. Alrets. As A-side has been overtaken dito ng XPT, pare. It's a 2 versus 4. Pareho pa silang magagaling ng exit. This is gonna be a tough retake, man.
The first mistake for Vengeance right now on the defense. Maybe they can forgive themselves with the retake this time around. Asinit with 1. Kristen gets a spray and Ephraim will also collect the last frag. The first round on the board para sa XPT. It's thanks to that positional mistake that you gotta talk about, Sneaky. Vengeance kind of losing out on the timing. Kara losing out on the trade as well. And as you know it was XPT all across that A site na talagang all eyes on the exit position to lock away that retake scenario para sa Vengeance this time around.
Yeah. Not more aggressive galing kay Alrets hunting that long A player with that EA peak. Pero Asinit medyo narinig siya sa hotel. So hahabulin pa nga siya dito. Slight timing para kay Leo. As Asinit makes his way dito sa may tunnels B. They did hear him retreat. CJ spotted dito sa B site. Has to be careful though. And then yun na nga, that double tunnels B peak. Asinit finally punished. B site in danger para sa Vengeance. Pero Kristan, that opening kill can lead something to XPT. It's not the best start para sa kanila pare, but the recovery is really nice. Kara goes down.
He's low HP pero he's already made a huge impact dito with those first 2 kills. Leo spotted. CJ has to run, has to hide. No movement done. Pero yun nga lang, he kills off ng si Leo. Bago pa siya mapatay dito, 2v3. May time pa parang XPT makakuha ng C4 all the way towards that B side itself. Aldrich with the shot, perfectly adjusting. Papunta kay Hexa. Jello with another. And it's all coming down para kay Inverse to eventually try to clutch this up in a 1v2 scenario.
And the amount of utility na meron pa dun yung XPT. I'm surprised that they're not blocking off some of these sight lines, especially na knowing na buhay pa dito si Aldrich. As it is, Hukay TV play, C4 na iwan dito sa second mid actually. So they're just gonna leave that behind. And if ever nga mapipick up yung C4 na to, it can be heard from that Tunnels B position. And yun nga, it has been heard. Inverse will be rounding out itong Tunnels B. 2 players swinging at the same time, which is going to be the perfect reaction pagdating nga dito sa AWM. Pero quick scope, Inverse gets the first one. Di na yata naspatan si Jelloy dito, judging from his movement. C4 is going to be planted. Pero meron siyang suspicion na baka lalabas ng TB. Itong last player, Inverse. Quick scope, not gonna hit. Jelloy na naman in a 1v1. Will he be surviving on 1 HP in this clutch? Quick scope, not gonna hit. And ayan na naman, Jelloy once again!
What?
23 HP. That's all he needs, pare.
Jelloy is 3 out of 3 with his clutch attempts. At ngayon mo masasabi na sayang dumaan na naman sa butas ng karayom ang mga panalo ng Vengeance so far. 4-1, 7-1-0 si Jelloy on his KD. And I can tell na talaga nga namang either lucky ang Vengeance ngayon, swerte ba sila, o talaga nga namang they're putting a lot of effort into getting these retake scenarios. You can tell that once they kind of had full control of that bypass at nung na-drop nila yung bomba doon sa may akyatan, there was just no reason para i-peak na lang itong si Inverse since that he is pretty good with that AWM. Definitely an opportunity for them to actually get themselves the second round, but all lost thanks to the luck coming through from Jelloy. They already have themselves LA control, CA on full lockdown as well. Vents will be that entry point para dito sa XPT, while they also have to deal with Jelloy doon sa taas. Isa pa doon sa may kanan. Kara, gotta spot them out. Lots of spray downs. Leo and Kristan, they get the entries going. They got the A site on full lockdown. They are forcing Vengeance to play a 3 versus 5 retake.
Yeah. Now all they have to do is hold at this point. No point in going out and looking for additional kills dito pare, fully knowing what happened in the prior rounds, as in it will get itong si Inverse. Suddenly, it is a 2 versus 4 and it is a 2-man peak dito sa EA. Very easy para sa mga players for XPT. Aldrich, last player left alive. Sniper around the corner. Will not get the shot kay Ephraim as XPT. A quick one dito sa A-site and catching itong Vengeance off guard. To be fair, it's not the best A-site defense for the flashes na ginamit dito ng XPT, but hey, execute para dito sa XPT pare.
Yeah. Pigilan yung pagdugo nga naman ng matchup so far. XPT finding a way to get an aggressive push going. And with the peaks coming through, hindi nga sila nag-split from EH Vents. Parang all the way, they had full trust into that entry from Kristan. Which is why they also kind of got themselves ng si Kara. Tsaka dito si Jelly from the top. CJ will get themselves one. Pero si Kristan, what a good spray papunta dito kay CJ right now. It's almost like they knew na that CA control was going to be important to take. That's why they get themselves the double peak. That's also why they also got Azenit. Low down dito sa may hukay. Hindi niya nakita si Inverse. He pulls out the Colt and he even gets him with a pistol. It's a 3v3. C4 transported papunta dito sa may LA. So they have an idea kung gusto nila pumasok din sa may A site, pero they need to be careful about Kara. He has one doon sa loob ng Ben's position.
Uy, Kristan! Oh my God. God loves you, bro. Nabuhay ka pa ngayon, pare. Ay. Nice shot galing dito kay Kara. But Leo and Inverse, last 2 players left alive. Aldrich around the corner. Nako po, binaril na ng Colt. 1 versus 3 para kay Inverse. And it all falls apart dito sa A-side. I was really just waiting para dito kay Kara to pull the trigger on this Vents push. Pero his patience has been rewarded dito sa round na to. Inverse, gonna be a tremendous effort para mabalik nga ang round na to. Does get the quick scope, but the M4 around the corner is just gonna finish him off, pare. 5-2 Vengeance. I mean, the 3-point lead dito sa kanilang map pick, pare. I mean, I could ask for a better start.
Yeah, and definitely subverting our expectations right now. I know we kind of talked about Sua and his impact, and it's almost like right now, CJ has been doing a good job filling his shoes ngayon. Getting good rifling at saka yung talagang presence si Jello on the late round is also something to behold. CJ with another in these entries. What are these shots from CJ, man? It's almost like nasa sense niya kung saan manggagaling yung XPT, and he always will claim at least one frag bago siya mamatay.
Yep. Yung CJ making us not notice no yung absence dito ni Sua from the squad with his contribution dito pare. Jeloy on that B side as in it first kill dito kay Kristan. Kristan not getting the successful entry this time pero pipilitin dito ng XPT na makapasok ng B side. Jeloy shot on the head. That's a double kill and a triple as well. Grabe naman si Jeloy dito, really showing up to the plate for today's Ankara map pare. 11 and 2.
And 7 of those are headshots as well. The closer para sa Vengeance. At tingin mo talaga by the end of the round, you're looking for somebody to watch out for. It's Jelly right now on Vengeance. Really good timing sa pag-hold niya on the way towards that battery's push from XPT. And the quick isolated headshots. Talagang ice cold ang pagdating ni Idol dito sa server natin as we're back into this 2-6. It will be believe that 9th round to start with sa first half natin. And XPT are trying to capitalize with that top mid push. Si Alretz, yung una magiging first contact na dito, spotted and inverse down. Leo will capitalize on that 1-for-1. And Kara, you have to do everything para makapag-delay yung push nila all the way. But as in it, I think he has a perfect timing. Hindi nakatingin yung XPD all the way towards RS. Spotted and Hexa will capitalize. That's another for Kristen as well. A one tap coming through. Pero yun nga lang, Kara will trade. 2v3, kayang-kaya with the spray down. Hexa and Jelly trades it off into a 1 versus 2 para kay Jelly. But this time, he does not close the round with a win. It will be a 3-6 para sa XPT.
Yun nga, Jelly doesn't survive the ordeal that time. As we do take a look at yung second half ENG now. Dito sa kanilang BL XPT, dito sa kanilang GR XPT struggling to get some rounds on the board. Now, one nila yung openings, man, but it's those clutch rounds from Jeloy and the better reactions galing sa Vengeance squad natin. And let's see what is gonna happen dito sa A side. It's more spread out, no? I mean, kagaya nga na sinabi natin sa start ng broadcast, Vengeance is a default heavy team to a fault, pare. Na, yun nga, no, sometimes they default a bit too much and yun nga, unsavory plays happen dito sa mapa natin. Pero Ephraim taking matters into his own hands, pare. I like what I'm seeing. Pero di niya nakita yung CA player doon.
Naku. Medyo may Guardian Angel at si Kara. Na-spot pa nga ito.
No!
Look at the spray!
Can you hear that?
That would have been a free double. I don't think so, man. Parang hindi niya alam eh. Nobody knew about the Hukay player. And that actually will punish itong si... I believe itong si Azanit jumping down onto the mid side. 1-for-1, 6-3. And yet alone, we're back into that slow play style na ginagawa ng Vengeance. What happened towards that mid side, man?
I don't know. May bumaril si Ephraim dito before Azanit even left the ground, pare. Or at least landed. So, taka lang ako kung bakit hindi siya humanap doon in time. Maybe just low sense things. Pero,
yeah.
XPT stacking itong A side. Very, very risky maneuver para sa kanila dito. But they're willing to take that risk. But unfortunately, it's called a risk for a reason, pare. It keeps their B side wide open. And Vengeance mukhang they're just gonna take it.
Yeah. And they're also at risk of like forward positions. Pwede ding mag-hold sila dun sa left side ng batteries natin, which I believe Vengeance will have a lot of time to reposition for Leo though. He's already here dun sa may RS. He's also calling upon the troops to play the retake scenario in the 4 versus 4. Plant coming down as well. 30 seconds to retake. As XPT will have to try with that entry coming through from Leo. And I believe they also have a flank coming through as well. So kailangan maging careful. Kailangan maganda yung timing. As they're putting out a lot of pot shots through the smoke. And laying a lot of damage done. Papunta dito kay Leo who has the entries. Lots of damage done kay Jeloy who has to spots him out. Hexa with another. And Leo with actually getting so many bodies on the floor. But yun nga lang, the flank comes down. And Kristan has placed himself at the perfect time to get the double kill. It will be the 4th round para sa XPT.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised na XPT got that retake, no, considering yung numbers dito ng Vengeance. Maybe a bit too relaxed dito sa kanilang hotel defense, no, na hindi nila nakita na meron na palang nag-flank. There's pressure coming in from both sides. Plus, yun nga, the heaven player natin didn't get his damage in time. Inverse, good opening dito kay Alretz. Can he get the second one, Kara? Gonna be patiently waiting for that smoke to pop pa rin. Pero, I mean, if anything, another good opener para sa XPT, but can they capitalize this time?
Yeah. And Inverse is somebody that you kind of like to watch out kapag dun sa mga first openings with that sniper. He hasn't been doing a lot this time around though, dito sa Ankara natin against Vengeance. So, will be the first of many, possibly as Inverse. His talent is noted, pero will that carry on over? That's a lot of need damage from Tristan. Has to go back from that vent hold. As Inverse will be the one to capitalize on that. Yun nga lang, lots of damage done thanks to the rifles. May pasok na agad to si Kara. The entry is not perfect. Kristan will get traded out by CJ. That's another from Jelloy as well as XPT. They got a good defense layered down, pero may pangpatay pa nga sana ang Vengeance so far. Jelloy will get a 2 versus 2 this time, as it will be a 1 versus 1 kay Leo, who is coming up from the heavens and gets himself down si CJ. That will be a 6-5 round per round. Humahabol ng XPT.
Grabe, that looked like a lost A-side take, pare, but all of a sudden, from the backline, Hexa getting the headshot dito sa C4 player as it drops to the left side. Wala nang choice yung Vengeance nun kundi mag-fight ng exit as they were just fully distracted, not looking in Ephraim's direction, pare. And Leo, good secure para sa kanya dito. 2 rounds in a row para sa XPT. Slight momentum swinging back in their way. So this could be the start of something para sa kanila dito, but XPT trying to be a lot more aggressive, and I like what I'm seeing galing sa XPT. A lot more aggressive, a lot more assertive pagdating sa kanilang map control at naubos na nila yung Vengeance. And this is what I was talking about. And you were talking about this, actually, Ramon. The default heavy playstyle, man. And dinagdagan ko na lang to a fault. And this is what I was talking about.
And will this capitalize as CJ? That's a double kill into the 1 versus 4. A good start. Pure headshots. The sub has to step up. And will he make his presence known, as it will be CJ down to, I believe, a quarter of health. And down to 1 HP this time around. Si Leo at si Inverse are just gatekeeping yung C4 natin. Lots of time to consider kung saan siya papasok dito. Can go around CA. Or can try to go back in towards yung LA natin. Neil's already got himself a bait and switch setup. Inverse is just trying to hold on yung ating LA spot as they're gonna try to hunt him down. Will they expect him around that RS? Looks like nakita pa nga yung barrel at magpapatay pa nga si CJ. So, you see a lot of talent coming through from the sub, but eventually the numbers just overwhelm him into a 6-6.
Yeah, you kinda take a look at the score here, no? You would be ecstatic kung kayo yung XPT. You got the tie-up. You got 3 rounds in a row at the start of the half. It's not like you started 6-3, no? I mean, it's equal footing na para sa dalawang teams natin dito. As back to the default we go. Para dito sa Vengeance. XPT though a lot more passive this time, considering na they've already made the aggressive play happen in that last round. So feeling ko, I think they'd rather trap itong Vengeance, or at least trust yung kanilang defense that they can hold against this push ng Vengeance. But yun nga, Vengeance having to get a round back dito, pare. Wala pa sila nakukuha sa second half.
Yun nga eh. 3 straight. And it's because of them, parang nagbago na kasi yung pacing nila this time around eh. Parang napag-call na agad na gusto nilang mag-play aggressive now. And as we kind of talked about then, a lot of times throughout this game, dami kasing butas na pwedeng gamitin against the slow-paced playstyle na ginagawa ng Vengeance, as they're gonna try to explode back in towards this A site right now. Utal in towards Vents, a lot of damage, not in the favor dito sa may XPT. Walang nakakuha doon. I think some chip damage papunta lang dito kay Inverse from the nade, so talagang passive control na lang tayo dito. Kristan dun sa kaliwa, nakakuha pa nga si Hexa. CJ gets to trade up, but eventually they found themselves on sa 2F. Si Kristan, hindi pa siya checked. He even gets a double kill, pero Kara, he will spot him out. It will be 2 versus 1, pero yun nga lang, how did Leo survive all of that except for Jelloy? At that headshot, Ephraim, now he has to clutch it up, has to be the hero. Spots out to si Kara, but eventually he will get the shot. A 7-6, it will be the break in the streak for XPT. It would have been 4 in a row, pero yun nga lang, Vengeance, they finally come back with a win.
Yeah, got a bit too tempted in that 1v2, pare. Obviously, the C4 was down in that EA position and low HP. Yung isang player dito na Vengeance could have been played a lot better, but unfortunately, no, yung top A player did miss his entire mag on itong low HP player nga na packet nga dito sa top A. So, yeah, XPT inches away from getting a good defense down dito sa last round natin, but unfortunately, some missed shots kind of causing their downfall dito, pare.
that consistency kind of crumbles for Kristan as well, who, let's be real, would have been on for a 3K. You could argue that the damage was more than enough for the top player to actually get themselves like the opening win, pero yun nga lang, I guess the pressure is coming towards tail ends dito sa XPT right now as Vengeance. Medyo habang tumatagal nagkaka-confidence na yung mga players natin. Kara's hitting shots again. Jello is also doing really well. And you can't deny talaga that CJ's been a surprise dito sa ating matchup natin as Azenit. Starts off strong dito kay Leo. Na nagtatry pa lang sana pumasok dun sa may hotel to get some coverage, pero yun nga lang si Ephraim sa spot pa nga din ni Azenit. So that's 2 kills coming through from the lurker, and already you can see the response time move forward para dito sa Vengeance. They want to take yung B site natin. Yun nga lang, Jello locked out. You got the split push coming through. Kristan will get one at least. As XPT, they try their best on the defense, but Azenit and Kara, they explode inside the B site. They leave it tong si Inverse, who's not holding the AWM anymore, pero yun nga lang, na spot pa nga ni Jello, and they get themselves the 8th round win. That is a 2-round streak for Vengeance, slowly building up to what could be a set win para sa kanila.
Yeah, Azenit taking matters into his own hands and getting that double opener para sa Vengeance as they approach the 8th. 2 points na lang, and they are gonna get their own map pick in this series. Kara hasn't been the best start dito sa second half, no? But I mean, the 2 rounds in a row for Vengeance is gonna set them straight back on the path of winning. XPT, gonna be a lot more calm, gonna be a lot more farther dito sa kanilang mga positions. B player watching itong HM, someone assigned dito sa hotel and sa TB, so it's a very spread defense para sa XPT, and possibly looking for a 4v5 siguro sa start ng round.
Usually sa mga setups na ganun, no? It's kind of required that you do, pero I guess they want to play for the slow take this time around. Kara and Ephraim possibly gonna be the take on bypass, and it's gonna be everything for them kasi once that they do, si CJ kakall niya yung rotation papunta dun sa may B site unless they take down si Hexa. But Ephraim just playing this very, very slowly, and you can see the same as well for Kara, who's just really holding his mantle dun sa side of the map ang yun, as Hexa is gonna start off strong kay Azenit. Jello down, and Ephraim already got himself the entry dito. Yun nga lang, Kara and CJ, they bounce it back with a 3v3 thanks to the entries and thanks to the kills. Alretz though, he's spotted. And yun nga lang, Kristan could pressure him down. Colt out, at yun nga lang, the headshot is perfect for Kristan. It's a 2v3 this time. And looks like Inverse is also gonna be in a lot of trouble kasi kung hindi nila alam, nasa loob lang siya ng hotel, pare. Kung mapapatayin yun si CJ.
Oh no!
He hits the shot with the cut. 1 versus 3. Kara, he's all alone, and I don't think the C4 is with him as well, so the nade out, it could be the one thing that they need. But this time, Kara will out the fight. 1v2. Leo next to the fight this time around, but eventually the spray is gonna work out for him. It's a 7-8 para sa XPT.
Yeah, really good delay. Galing dito kay Inverse on that hotel position. And ayun nga, I mean, that's what you need from yung B-side player mo. He needs to decide by himself na gagawa na ba ako ng play dito or hindi. And he decided to make a damn play happen dito, pare. Gets like that the start of the round though. 4 players on that A site. And gusto yata maging aggressive itong XPT as they looking for that opener. Let's a bit suspicious na medyo madaming tinatapon dito sa long A. Sprays are gonna go down. Pero VNG, 4 kayo sa A side, pero 4 din kami sa LA. What an answer. What a hold. And yun nga, the classic call dito ni Cha of hold lang tayo actually works this time para sa Vengeance. And XPT left with only 2 players left alive dito, pare. Pero i-go pa rin ng Vengeance? No way.
Oh my goodness. And malay mo mag-iba to para sa XPT, but now it will be Azenit. Now it will be Kristan. Gets a double kill, 1v2, low on HP, ang tatlo. Kara, with the health advantage, has to be the one to save the day, and he does kill off tong si Kristan. Set point para sa Vengeance. And with that hold doon sa may LA, it really has shaped up the numbers for XPT, and it would have been so close para kay Kristan, pero yun nga pare, talagang Kara had all the confidence in the world to kill him off.
Okay, Inverse. Good start to the round once again. Jeloy has been the biggest problem, no? Para dito sa XPT, and him being out at the start of the round definitely is a sign for good times para sa kanila dito. They do need 2 points in order to take this to overtime. Pero Vengeance, tamang patience lang. Think they're playing with that 4v5, assuming na mag-forward pa yung isang player dito ng XPT.
Yun yung hinaharap natin sa kanila no? Just that early 5 versus 4, first blood coming through thanks to Inverse, and really, yun yung parang hinahanap ko sa kanya And now that he's actually gotten himself the first blood, there's no need for XPT to be that aggressive anymore. They could just wait out, let Hexa get a lot more noise, a lot more info. So kung saan nga ba yung mga lurkers dito, they spot nitong si Kara, si CJ, he's just holding. Alam niya
this,
na lalabas itong si Leo, pero there really is it's not necessary na lumabas sila ng ganito, di ba?
Yeah, it's like 1 minute and 14, full util yung buong team mo, pare. So, there's still plenty to hold, no? Plenty of flashes, plenty of smokes to put down. I mean, it's good na they still have a whole lot of utility this late dito sa round natin. Tanong lang, magagamit nga nila yan in time. Inverse with the flash in his hands. And they're gonna re-clear itong long. Pag na-realize nila na walang tao dito sa long, and Azinet is actually spotted dito sa TB, this could be Vengeance getting red like a book para Hexa. It's my second mid area natin. Doesn't see Alretz. Actually, naharangan ng kanyang baril ang ulo doon ni Alretz para Ephraim trying to hold it down, pero hindi niya mapapatay dito si Kara. Inverse inside of the site pero spotted sa batteries. And this is a heartbreaker para sa XPT. It's been so good so far dito sa game natin. Pero Vengeance getting the last 3. And grabe naman yun. What a recovery, no? After not the best start dito sa kanilang second half, as despite yung sub, Vengeance getting itong Ankara, pare.
A good recovery, as you mentioned, at saka, if you can kind of notice, they kind of had the game on full download na. Alam na nila yung timing, alam na nila kung sino yung dapat manguna. And I think in a lot of these situations, I think Kara has been doing a good job of also picking up the game for himself. Medyo nag-slow start siya. And nung tumagal na yung game lalo, talaga nga namang naging okay pa yung naging performance niya dito. He went from only 1 kill over at the first half in towards like double digits nung nagtagal din dito. Kind of matching din yung naging aim nitong si Hexa tsaka ni Inverse. So I think that's good props as well for one of the players on Vengeance. Vigeloy though has been on good form habang tumatagal yung game natin. A clutch master ng first half, always really good on the rifle as we can kind of expect from him. Good things all around. And syempre, wag natin kalilimutan din i-mention yung sub na si CJ. 14 kills or at least more pagpunta natin dun sa may second half. I think we had a lot of doubt, and it's pretty obvious na hindi tayo masyadong mataas ang hope nung nakita natin CJ nakapasok, kasi pinag-uusapan natin yung naging impact ni Suwa for Vengeance. But CJ's performed, and there's no doubt about it that he's gonna be a good thing to watch out for pag nagtagal yung series natin.
Yeah, for sure. Yun nga, no, if Vengeance keeps this pace up, then sub-base is not gonna be a problem para sa kanila dito, no? I think yung problem lang siguro ng Vengeance para sa map number 2 is their inexperience pagdating sa sub-base map. I don't think they play it as often as yung mga ibang teams natin, no? So, ayun nga, maybe just a bit of an experience, pero yun nga, if the snipers are still hitting, if Alreds can still hit his shots, then that could make all the difference para sa kanyang team. Fortunately, no, para dito sa Vengeance na mainit din ang kanilang IGL and the other riflers on the squad. So, it's not gonna be a one-man carry job na makikita natin dito sa sub-base. I hopefully would like to see more of a team effort galing sa Vengeance dito. Pero para naman sa XPT, no, they had some very good rounds, pero ayun nga, no, that self-control, pare, on some of these angles, man, hindi nila nagagawa dito kasi, ayun nga, I mean, throwing away a numbers advantage in a 5v4, granted na you do want to get information, pero I think there's better ways to go about it, pare.
Yeah, and sometimes they can kind of get pacey with a lot of things. Masyado sila nagmamadali, masyado nag-rush. A lot of the rounds, Hexa's been getting caught pretty early on, and usually he's the type of player na talaga nga namang will have the potential to get multi-frags. But he hasn't been doing a lot of that nung tumatagal yung game natin, and getting caught with his pants down in a lot of these situations. So talagang something for them to try to think about habang tumatagal yung game natin, or possibly just talk about it with the team. The good things though from XPT is that Kristan is definitely on a good form nga naman. Leo and Kristan, I think they've been picking up the mantle so far habang tumatagal yung game natin. They had good lurks kami too from Ephraim, although he only gets one na hindi pa nakakuha ng multi-frag. But sometimes it just happens, man. I think Vengeance, nung nakuha nila yung grasp ng game, hindi na sila nagkakalayo when it comes to the distance between each players. And I think that's been a good game plan for them so far. Once they had a good grasp of the situation, they can just kind of call the rotations, and you can kind of rely on each one of them para maging maayos yung magiging assess na situation.
Oh yeah, for sure. Pero ayun nga, as we take a look at yung set highlights natin, obviously quite a back and forth dito ng first half. 6-3 is where the score ended up, no, para dito sa XPT. Yun nga, just like I said, did see some very good rounds galing sa kanila dito, no, where they actually used their macro very, very well. Pero ayun nga, unfortunately, at the end of the day, Vengeance made to punish teams like this, no, who are a bit too aggressive, a bit too assertive pagdating sa mapa natin. And let's see if they can hold on to Subbase. Subbase, I think, may chance dito na makakuha ng pabalik itong XPT, considering na it does reward that kind of playstyle, especially pagdating dito sa BL side. But kind of depends how the first half goes para sa kanila dito, pare.
Oo nga, no? And if they are gonna be starting there, that's also something to watch out for. But it is gonna be Vengeance, gonna start on BL dun sa sub-base natin. So GR for XPT. I think for them, they kind of need to put more priority dun sa may second bid na, again, I've been watching the VOD the last time that they played sub-base, and they don't put a lot of priority on that compared to all the other teams that have been playing sub-base. So mukhang nagiging weakness nila yun if nakukuha nila yun ng timing. But they did win out the last time na naglaro sila ng sub-base, so I guess na-realize nila that that is gonna be a secret pick for them. We'll have to wait and see if it continues for them, as it is their first win dito sa Impact Summer na naglaro sila ng sub-base last time. Ayun, so talagang good times all around para dito sa Vengeance as they're able to bounce back through and get themselves a win dito sa set 1 natin, as we're gonna take a look at the set summary in just a short while. The Riflers really have been the star of the show, man. I mean, come on. How many times will we have praise for the likes of CJ, the likes of Jeloy? 2.38 KD. And tinan mo kung gaano ka-positive yung kills per round niyan, man. Talagang okay na okay si Jeloy nung nag-settle in siya sa Ankara map natin.
Yeah, ayun nga, no, saving itong Vengeance from having to play 3 more rounds dito sa game natin with those clutches na nakuha niya ng first half. I mean, those clutches were devastating para dito sa XPT, fully considering yung context, no, na every single time Jeloy was 1 HP and inches away from dying, and them getting around. So definitely did do a number dito sa mental ng XPT leading into yung first half end natin. Pero still compliments dito kaya Kristan with a 1.38, 1.06 kill per round. Pretty high on the headshot per kill as well with 15 AP. So ayun nga, it's still a good overall game para dito kay Kristan. Inverse was finding his shots as well. Leo finding his shots as well dito, no? So sub-base is still not out of the realm of possibility para dito sa XPT. But yun nga, if Jeloy performs like this and if everyone is online para dito sa Vengeance, where as in it in Alets actually didn't have to do much dito sa mapa na to, then yun nga, sub-base could be up in the air dito, pare.
Totoo nga, pare. Oh. And now that we've been mentioning a lot of names, why don't we mention kung sino yung naging MVP natin para sa panalo ng Vengeance? And if you can kind of see, he's been on the topic sa ating dalawa. It is going to be si Jeloy. 1.12, 2.38 KR and KD respectively. You gotta respect his grind as well. Talagang there was a lot of questions kung mariretain nga niya yung kanyang performance, because he's been on the uptick nung tumatagal yung Impact Summer. So good job on being sa MVP, Jeloy, and I think hindi mawawala yung form niya pagdating sa second set natin.
Yeah, I mean, there's not many eye-popping performances, no, para dito kay Jeloy so far sa CFPH Impact. So it's nice na he can show up like this up against a team that he has to show up against, no, kasi yun nga, magkadikita na sila dito sa standings, and XPT is trying to take their spot. But unfortunately, para dito sa XPT, Vengeance is gonna get their own map pick. So let's see kung kaya nilang makabalik dito sa map number 2. Fortunately para sa XPT, no, it is their map pick, which is itong sub-base, which means yun nga, maybe that's where the comfort lies para sa kanila dito, pare.
And honestly, magugulat na lang ako pagdating natin doon sa base if XPT decide to show up because so far that uptick, even though it has been present, baka mapapaasa lang tayo, no, pare. So we'll have to wait and see as Vengeance they pick up yung first set natin, pero hindi pa tapos yung matchup, mga kaibigan. May second set pa tayo and there's a possibility matapatapos siya right then and there. So wag kayong aalis, nandito ang CFS Impact Summer 2035. Ako si Ramon at si Sneaky Frog. Wag kayong aalis. Welcome back, mga tropa, sa CFPH Impact Summer 2025. We're in Week 4, Day 1, and it's between Vengeance versus XPT para dito sa ating first series of the day. First game going through dito sa Vengeance at mukhang smooth sailing yung pagpasok nila dito sa ating sub-base game na map pick ng Xypher Pro Team. So may chance pa sila para maka-equalize. Do you really think it will be that 2-0? Kaso medyo nagulat tayo kasi yung prediction natin, it was the other way, diba, Sneaky?
Yeah, I mean, hindi natin expect to CJ to pop off that hard dito sa mapa ng Ankara, and itong si Jello as well, who, yun nga, no, just like how I said it, he hasn't really had any eye-popping performances, no, dito sa Impact so far. So, yun nga, it's a nice surprise na Vengeance is performing like this, no, despite having a sub on their squad, pare.
Yeah, I think all is good so far. Habang nasa server, medyo nawala na siguro yung nerves, nawala na talaga yung parang masasabi nating anxiety natong si CJ. If he was nervous at all, hindi natin malalaman. Maybe we could ask later on our own personal time. Pero let's not talk about that right now kasi papasok tayo dito sa sub-base kung saan it will be the second time na lalaroin to ng Xypher Pro Team. They're not one of the teams na medyo pina-favor yung map na to, pero once they actually pick this out or once they were actually forced to play this, they did a pretty good job, especially against Al Sovereign the last time that they played this. So, but that is Al Sovereign at the end of the day. And they haven't been doing their best habang tumatagal yung Impact Summer natin. So they will fight up against a more formidable opponent na ang Vengeance that has had a lot of reps, a few reps dito sa sub-base natin. So what do you think, Sneaky? Is it gonna be a good time para sa XPT ngayon?
Let's see, man. I mean, itong si Kristan and si Inverse has been hitting their shots, no? Dito sa game natin, Leo has been doing a nice job as well. I think as long as those three are solidly performing para sa kanilang team, and knowing itong XPT, they're not afraid to push the line forward, no? Which is pretty good para sa mapa ng sub-base, as you do need to do that from time to time, maybe sa MR or maybe dito sa Woods. Pero knowing yung Vengeance, pare, I mean, every single player is hitting, even itong si Asinit, so definitely going to be a challenge para sa XPT to get this over the hump para dito sa map number 2.
Yeah, but sometimes it's easier said than done nga naman, 'di ba? Kasi talagang they've had their moments. They've had their moments, pero XPT has quite, masabi natin, nag-recede medyo yung naging consistency nila, kaya we'll see if they're gonna be able to get themselves back up dito sa sub-base natin as riding on into that matchup entirely against Vengeance, who, let's be real, red hot nung natapos na tayo dito. They have stopped the streak. They've also been the type of team that has been default heavy, but we kind of noticed na may mga flaws yung time na naging default heavy sila, but once they realize that the pace isn't really a problem for them, nagawa nila ng paraan para magawa nila ng let's say they made the most out of the time that they always get, diba? So if Vengeance are gonna keep that, then that's a good time moving forward dito sa sub-base natin. I think players to watch out for, I think Kara has been on the uptick nung tumatagal, pero it's yet to see kung marireach ba niya ulit yung ceiling niya. I think there's potential for players like Kristan on the other side para ma-match ulit yung aggression na ginagawa nila kanina, but dun pa lang sa GR, medyo nakakuha na tayo ng mga good moments from him, so maybe he'll shine off dito sa ating sub-base.
Yeah, I mean, he has to. Considering yung nature ng role niya, no? I think Kara definitely needs to pop off dito sa game natin. I mean, he's gonna be the guy responsible for providing openings, no, para sa kanyang team. So it's either gonna be him or si Asinit leading the charge para sa kanilang opensa, no? So, ayun nga, if Kara has a good game, if they can open up a site, no problem dito, pare, then ayun nga, Vengeance might have a shot dito sa first half, pero gonna have to wait and see kasi ayun nga, both teams can offer their just surprises pagdating sa mapa ng sub-base, pare, pero ayun nga, no, doubts are still in the air kasi ayun nga, we did say at the start of the series na it is gonna be a 2-0 para sa XPT considering the sub, and ayun nga, it was a loss dito sa map number 1 immediately, and the fact na magsisimula pa dito yung XPT dito sa kanilang GR side actually doesn't bode well para sa kanila dito kasi that gives a path para sa Vengeance to possibly gain sa momentum, no, dito sa kanilang BL side, and it's very very hard to defend against a team that has momentum dito sa kanilang BL side on sub base kasi yun nga, it's just full confidence swinging around the corner, you're fully blind. It's tough, man.
It's very tough. It's very tough as well. So, will this be a good time para sa XPT or will Vengeance strike this down 2-0? Malalaman natin yan, guys, as medyo naglaload din na tayo. Papasok sa ating sub-base game. GR, papunta dito sa XPT. And if they're gonna be able to hold their passive playstyle on this map in particular, then, you know, it will be a good thing to watch out for. It will be something that Vengeance have to keep an eye on, lalo na sa nagiging confidence ng XPT, slowly trying to be on the inconsistency. Pero yun nga, sub-base, Vengeance on BL. How will they start this off? So everybody's spread out. May tao na sa loob ng MR. May tao pa nga dito. So may Vents position. So the uptick, it will be a matter of seconds before they find themselves tong si Leo kung hindi careful yung control player natin.
Yun nga, Vents position para dito kay Kara. Start of the round, Vengeance more on the default this time. A-side take ang gusto nilang kunin dito. Ephraim already spotted. Pero distracted yung mga players dito ng XPT. Kristan not looking at the right direction. Still fully focused dito sa bottom A. Jeloy providing presence dito sa mid. So, bit more map control para sa Vengeance than what you want to give. Okay, XPT, Kara. Almost getting the punish dito kay Leo. That would have been a nice opener considering na halos lahat ng players na andito sa second mid. They could file on in back into the A side, pare.
Totoo, no? They can still keep themselves planted doon, pero lots of day damage. And a good chunk of it dito kay Jeloy, so that's something to consider. The MVP from the previous set will have to be careful about pushing in, as it will be the lag control as well as Leo picking up Jeloy. Outlets with the 1-for-1. Sniper. And a lot more priority dito sa may second mid natin as they're gonna keep themselves with their feet planted on that side of the map. Kara gonna get themselves to see Hexa. Kristen and Leo though on the defense. Definitely stellar laban dito sa Vengeance as it will be a triple kill para kay Kristan. That consistency is definitely showing a peak dito para sa XPT.
Yeah, XPT first round on the board. Kara couldn't get the punish dito kay Leo on that jump peak, and unfortunately that results in 2 para sa kanya dito. Pero CJ spotting inverse dito sa passage. That's a good start to the round. Wala nang sniper agad dito yung XPT. So more access siguro dito sa second mid. It's gonna be a lot more of a fight to stave off itong si Jeloy as he goes for this flank, pare.
That's why you're also kind of seeing Ephraim and kind of piggyback on kung i-hold nga ba niya yung second mid o kaya i-hold na yung passage natin. That's why Shutter is such an important part of the map, diba? Because it's also covering like so many entrances. Kita mo yung 2F, kita mo yung papunta dun sa may lockers. And if hindi smoked off yung shutters natin, then yun yung parang power position na pwedeng gamitin ng kung sino man ang nasa GR. So Ephraim and his position is gonna be key as he gives up yung passive, yung control natin all the way from shutters. He relegates that over to Hexa, who does decide to actually hold yung darkroom natin dito. So that's the thing about the numbers disadvantage for XPT on GR. They will have to seek out and see kung sino yung pwedeng magiging holder dun sa one side na yun, as it will be the lockers push para sa Vengeance. Kara's gonna have to entry on. Laman itong si Ephraim onto F right now. Nades out and CJ's gonna get the entry as well. 5v3 XPT are gonna have to be prepared. Hexa's alone on the site as Leo will get that wall bang and it will be a good response para dito sa defense. Azanet on top dun sa 2F. CJ with the entry as well. It's Azanet and Kara. They get 2 kills for themselves. As XPT, they crumble under the pressure. That will be another shot for Kara and a 1-for-1 para sa Vengeance.
Nice shot there. Galing dito kay Hexa sana, but then didn't get the shot in time. Naharangan nga dito ng metal frame that is in that shutter position. Hexa not spotting itong si Kara going into vents actually. So opportunity para kay Kara to make another play happen, pero Leo fully aware after that initial presence na nakita natin kanina. Think Leo's gonna be a lot more suspicious, no, pagdating dito sa vents, pare. Kara's second try, pistol that time. And does get more damage, no, kumpara sa nakita natin kanina.
Yeah. Now that kind of lets Leo get his feet planted dun sa side na yun. So he's gonna be aware about yung vents for the longest time. That's also why you kind of see a frame also gonna be responding with that. So Vengeance have a couple of options. They can keep poking tong second mid and try to play around that luwag control na mukhang gagawin nga since Alrets and Kara are gonna be responding to that into the A side push. The other option would have been to rotate pa dun sa may B side na ginawa na last round, but now it will be that first control. Jeloy, lots of damage done. Leo with a triple kill with the spray down. Paano nakita natin yun? Where was this guy? All the way from control room, and he's able to knock down 3 kills for himself. That's another for XPT. In a blink of an eye, that's 6 kills for Leo sa start pa lang ng game natin.
You know, what was the second guy doing, man? I mean, you're already hearing Leo spray his heart out on that M4, pare, and still not facing the right spot. Worried about that crossfire, pare. Yun lang. Bit of a rookie mistake galing sa Vengeance. And they're gonna pay dearly for it. Second round on the board agad para sa XPT on their GR side, which bodes well para sa kanila dito. And Vengeance back on their default once again. It has only worked once. Pero ngayon, wala na sa vents itong si Kara. He has relocated all the way back dito sa outside. So most likely, they're gonna look for a B hit dito. And maybe, yung isang player magkakat ng rotation, pero depende pa naman.
Yeah. We're back into Vengeance and their slow play style. Pero yun nga lang, sub-base is the type of map that you can't kind of punish that unless you make the aggressive moves yourself. So you can kind of see that they're kind of hinging on Ephraim. Yung control din nila kanina dun sa may vents as well. It would have been a very, very good shot if they were able to actually capitalize on that. Pero yun nga lang, as in it. And she on towards lockers. I don't think he spotted out tong si Inverse, and eventually he will get himself the punish. CJ's already inside of the site. Yun nga lang, napatay niya tong si Inverse. That's a 1-for-1. XPT locked out of Shutter. But Hexa, he can provide the opening. If he kills up tong si Kara, that's the plant coming down. That's a one-tap from Hexa as well. Aldred's also answering with a 1-for-1 trade down. Jeloy with another as well. Ang dami na lang pwedeng iba to dito. Pero mukhang yung katawan nila yung gagawin nila dito. Pero yun nga lang, Ephraim with a double kill. I think that was a long flank coming through from MR. So right place, right time for Ephraim. That's a 3-1 para sa XPT.
XPT hates using utility, pare. And I can tell. So 3-1. XPT, despite the lack of nades being thrown dito sa round natin, still will get it at the end. Numbers advantage at the start of the round. Kinda helping Alrets getting itong si Inverse, but there's a second player coming in. Ephraim more focused on the forklift player. Actually, makukuha na dito si Kara. Alrets medyo stuck. Papabalik na lang siya dito sa spawn. And Leo looking for the bigger play, looking for the bigger punish, pero nakadaan na si Alrets, unfortunately for him. And medyo malayo sila sa A-site actually. Leo has to make a play happen, pero CJ fully aware na meron pwedeng lumabas galing dito sa outside.
Nako. Damang daming bangat to kay Leo. No, it looks like it's not. Ganda ng awareness si CJ. Hexa also to follow. Everybody from Vengeance fully aware sa pinukook up ng XPT. It was a long time na hinuhold pa lang nila yung forklift. And with that, quick punish coming through from both that side of the map at saka sa luwag natin. It's a 1 versus 4. At yun nga lang, Ephraim is also gonna go down as well. So Vengeance, they get themselves a second round.
Yeah, second round on the board para dito sa Vengeance. So finally getting something going. Round number 6 dito sa laruan natin. 2 players cross into woods. No smoke though. Galing sa Vengeance, they're just gonna straight up do this. Kara tempted to go inside of vents once again, pero naiwasan na yung vents for the past 2 rounds. He's more worried about itong passage position natin, but does go inside. Does he do the spin? Or si CJ pala yung papasok dito? CJ, did he do the spin? Yun lang. He doesn't do the XJ spin, pare. I have no idea why no one actually does it. But Inverse will get the shot either way dito, pare.
Good assist as well from the boost player as well. So talagang full value out of the time that they actually spent trying to commit to that position. They expected another vents push. And I don't think CJ was the one who's also like doing a lot of the vents pushes right now. So medyo unlucky in naging position na dito as they push on in towards second mid. Smoke on in towards Leo's position. As it looks like it will be the push coming through on second mid to Shutters. As in it will get that entry, and it will be another coming through for Vengeance. Jeloy explodes with a double kill, expecting Leo and Kristan. A 1 versus 4 para sa Sniper. And he kills up tong si Aldrets to start with in this 1 versus 3 now.
Yeah. Good take on the B site. Or, yeah, good take on the B site. 1 HP dito si Azinit. Inverse trying to bait out yung information, pero medyo mahirap na to. Everyone is really keeping their elbows in. Dito sa laruan natin, Jeloy will find itong si Inverse, 3-3. Vengeance at least keeping it close dito sa kanilang BL side. They're gonna need to get the lead going though if they do want to win yung mapa na to, pare. But still, XPT, yun nga, ito yung sinasabi ko man, XPT willing to do some plays, pero yun lang, they cancel it halfway dito. Alrets, I think he spotted na merong player na nagbaback off dito sa CR, so now they're a bit suspicious na pwedeng may lumabas dito sa woods. Leo, first player down. Ephraim around the corner. Jello tempted na mag-swing dito sa woods.
Kailangan ba niya? Maghihintay na lang ata si Jello at si Ephraim, no? And I don't think Ephraim is willing to give away the numbers advantage, especially with Leo coming from his back. Jello gonna run and gun him down. At mukhang na-expected pa nga itong si Leo, or maybe it was another lucky play coming through from him. Jello, nevertheless, does get himself a double kill. Second mid also pressured on by this guy as well. The MVP from set 1, putting a lot more damage dito kay Hexa. As Kara will find tong si Kristan in this 4 versus 2 where XPT, they're slowly getting whittled down by both the CR player. Tsaka yung pag-push nila on second mid as Vengeance. They never expected Hexa to push from forklift. He was the surprise that they were cooking up with. Pero yun nga lang, Jello already inside of the site, kills off Hexa 1v2. Inverse the sniper. Where is he gonna be coming from? Nandito lang siya doon sa may shutter. Lots of nades, lots of smokes coming down. The plant comes through for Vengeance. Inverse comes through sa dark room. And eventually we'll find the light coming through from Jelloy. A 4-3 for Vengeance. They steal the lead away from XPT.
Yeah, Vengeance. This is what exactly what I wanted. Galing sa kanila dito. Pero Alred's down at the start of the round. Doesn't bode well para dito sa VNG. I like what XPT is doing. They're starting to move a lot more fluidly as a squad. Pero Leo, is he gonna jump check this? Gonna be a hard jump check. Pero kung nag-execute na yung mga A-side players dito, pare, as they do check itong si Kara. Kara will tank the nade. And he does reload. That's gonna be her dito ni Leo. Actually, Leo gonna be tempted to go for another peek. Kara still inside, distracted. Lahat ng mga players dito, pero makakababa si Kara just in time. Hexa on that A side. Is there gonna be any help? Walang, hindi spotted yung metal box player, but Hexa still goes down and Kara still gets itong si Inverse, pare.
What?
How does that happen, Kristan? Bumalik ng CR dito. 1 HP si Azinit, half dito si Jelloy. But considering yung defense dito sa A side, just like how I said, that should not happen, pare.
He had all the right places covered by the right players, pero for some other reason nakapasok pa rin ang Vengeance. Nakapatay pa nga agad yung tao sa loob ng Venge, pero Kristan's gonna get the entry ongoing. Azinit though will kill him off. It will be a 1 versus 2, pero Azinit always the right place, always at the right time. Double kill for him. A 5th round for Vengeance. For some other black magic, nakapasok ang Vengeance despite XPT having the right eyes on the right places.
Yeah, the black magic is us predicting 2-0 XPT dito, pare. I mean, I already predicted, man. I was like, all right, I'm gonna predict XPT today 2-0, but I mean, my caster curse is strong, pare, but your combined powers, man, it makes it a lot worse. Pero yun nga.
At least hindi ka nag-iisa.
Yeah. No, could have been something para dito sa XPT if he did decide something else, but I mean, kind of depends on them at this point if they're going to be reliant on curses dito, pare. Jelloy, second mid position, going to be smoked off. Good cut off actually para dito sa shutter player natin. Inverse still getting itong si Kara though. Kara finally getting punished in time. Nade gonna go through on that A side. Metal box gonna be occupied. Ephraim around the corner, pero alam ba dito ng Vengeance na merong nakaupo dito sa gilid. Alrets taken down dito ni Leo on the other side. Jelloy na lang. Jelloy still gets itong si Ephraim, but Azinit has to make a play happen. Isa lang yung nasa kabilang side ng mapa. Possibly getting caught. Hexa walking past itong si CJ. CJ making it into passage. How has this happened? Nagkasalisihan yung buong squad ng XPT from every single member ng Vengeance, and one player will get taken down. Leo's gonna fall. Possibilities are endless para dito sa 2v3. Azinit, very careful. 3F gonna be occupied dito ni CJ. CJ gonna have to rely on dito kay Azinit to be watching that locker's position. Azinit taken down. CJ gonna be going down dito sa passage as well. And yun lang. If Azenit got that first shot, pare, feeling ko winnable pa yun considering hirap i-clear ng spot dito ni CJ. Pero XPT still gets it.
Yeah, could have had 2F control, and he could have actually had a bit of util para makapag-play around that 2 versus 3 nga naman no. But I guess it doesn't really work out for them. Medyo surprising no. Parang pareho ata sila nag-walk kaya hindi nila na-realize na magkatabi lang sila kanina. But I guess CJ got a little lucky with the timing coming through, finding himself on passage, and as a swap of sides come forward, 5-4 para sa Vengeance on GR right now. They do the same boost that they got to punish tong si CJ. And now, that will lock itong si Alrets doon sa may bench position natin as Ephraim will start strong dito kay Azenet. A wallbang and a kill papunta dito. Without a trade at all, XPT are gonna have a good time moving forward with that. As it will be a 4 versus 5 as Alrets, he hits the shot kay Hexa. Spots out tong si Kristen as well. So the info is gathered. So that will let Vengeance play around this info. And CJ probably will have pretty good time dito with the angle as you mentioned.
Di spotted ni Leo yun, I guess. I'm surprised I didn't spot him. I saw a leg. Pero at the same time, yun nga, no, the gameplay resolution natin is different kumpara sa mga players who are used to that 800, 600 vision. Pero titignan natin if it is gonna work out. Stretching this A side thin in terms of yung kanilang defense as Kara round the corner. Trying to do some damage. Galing dito sa metal box. He still stays on it. Pero mapapabalik siya dito. Nades are gonna start to fly dito sa A site. XPT. Very tipid pagdating sa kanilang mga nades dito. Alrets will go down. Leo crawling inside the vents. Kara, it's up to you, brother. Kung ma-hold mo ba to o hindi. Flash is gonna be in and he's spotted around the corner. Jeloy, the back of his head is gonna get shot dito. CJ na lang natitira and obviously he hasn't heard by Leo. CJ tagged up. Still gets the shot kay Leo though, but yun nga, no, in terms of winning this round, unrealistic pare.
Slim, not impossible. If he kills up tong si Kristan, then he will have that control room control, pero yun nga lang, he will walk into a bullet. And eventually, hindi niya ma-expect tong si Kristan that close, that forward. So it's a 5-5. A good execute for XPT. They had a split push moving forward. They had Ephraim already clenched up doon sa may Vens, so he was just waiting for them to catch up doon sa may luwag. And a good flash kind of disrupted yung position ni Kara. Would have been a really comfortable position on that steel door to get a multi-frag, but still, util, entry timing, definitely on point for XPT. As it will be that second mid control that they're trying to do with that smoke coming down. As Azenet, he's not even willing na kumuha ng kahit anong presence, kahit anong noise. He's kind of scared na baka may ma-spray sa kabilang side ng mapang yun as it will be forklift control. Vents gonna be a possibility para dito kay Kristan. He actually decides to do so, but eventually they will find themselves dito sa may MR. And slowly walk into CJ who has been holding this angle from the previous round.
Yun lang, he's dead, 100%. Yeah, M4 is shooting at you in this 4-box position. Yun nga, CJ being a bit cheeky with his angles but does get punished for it. Kara low HP as well dito sa round natin. Jello, you're gonna have to produce a miracle once again. 11 and 6 dito sa laruan natin, but he's gonna need to produce a whole lot more than 11 dito if he wants to keep the momentum back on their side. Inverse, getting itong si Alrets. Kristan getting itong si Jello. The slow crawl papunta ng B site, making Vengeance very antsy sa kanilang mga positions dito. And they fall one by one. XPT, BL lead para sa kanila dito, pare.
Totoo, man. I mean, they started with making a lot of noise, a lot of presence on dun sa second mid. And that kind of let, I believe itong si Alrets kind of play a bit more passively. Hindi siya nag-rotate, hindi siya nagkakahit ano. And that extra number would have actually mattered a lot if CJ had a bit more of that assistance nga naman. Pero yun nga, medyo forward yung position niya, napadali yung pag-entry ng XPT. They also kind of got a good mark on the shutter player that Inverse was already on the prowl with that AWM. So all sides were covered for XPT on the entry, and they could kind of just let tong si Kara just save up with that KD. So it's a 6-5. XPT, they get themselves the lead on BL, which I assume it's not really a popular thing nowadays on sub base, no?
Yeah, for sure. Yun nga, no, just a very unsavory angle para dun kay CJ, which would have worked if it was a one-off, pare, kung isa lang yung papasok dito sa LR just to check, no, kung meron man tao dito sa loob. But unfortunately for him, it was 4 players pouring on in galing nga dito sa machine room natin. Yeah, I mean, very unfortunate happenings para dito sa Vengeance, dito sa mapa ng subbase so far. XPT obviously nandito na sila sa BL side. Yung slow crawl nga nila dito, kind of messing with the usual pacing dito na Vengeance na I would have expected to have a better time dito sa second half natin considering na yun nga, they're a very default heavy team, they can hold very very well. Pero unfortunately, no, pagdating sa mapa ng subbase, the team that is more willing to press the issue, no, really does get the win almost every single time dito, pare. And ayun nga, I mean, Vengeance just couldn't hold on, pare. It's they're getting tempted a bit too much dito, min.
Yeah. And it's either because they're also like willing to play the double setup a little too forward or medyo nalulose out sa mga timing na kung kailan sila kailangan mag-peak. No? And in a lot of situations, hindi talaga favorable yun kapag ikaw yung nagpe-play ng passive. So I think Vengeance are gonna have to keep their leg up back here in this matchup. I think Jello is kind of slowed down. I think CJ, compared to his first map, hindi siya masyadong komportable. Napapatay siya sa mga lockers positions natin, and I think because of the angle that he was setting up for, I think siya pa nga one way by that point. So, yeah, parang a good recovery para sa XPT sa buong series natin. It's the first time that they've had a lead this far into this game, and if they're able to just try to keep cashing in on how good Kristen has been with his performance and with how well nakakapag-rotate sila ng maayos, and they can just keep on going with this lead so far that they've had built up.
Yeah, and yun nga, XPT, no, this is the XPT that I expected na mag-show up dito sa map number 1. Granted, it did, no, for some of the other rounds dito sa Ankara. I think Subbase does a better job of displaying, no, what they can do in this game of Crossfire, pare. As we take a look back in the game, 6-5 XPT with a 1-point lead against itong Vengeance, as they're gonna try and see if they can take their own map pick para mapunta nga tayo dito sa port.
Yeah, and they start with having the solo player, Kara. Usually, you'd expect him to be that A player, but now he kind of swapped in with CJ, who decides na, sige, ako na lang dito sa may A side, pare. Hold ka na lang yung luwag.
I have a theory na CJ doesn't know how to do yung lamp jump or yung lights jump.
Kaya lagi siya nasa lockers nandun sa 1F, no?
Oh yeah. It's kind of hard to hit yung jump na yun sa lockers, honestly. Yung kung saan nakaupo dito si Mr. Kara. Pero yun nga, Jeloy, first one down already. Dito sa may shotters area natin. Asinit trying to get the flank going, pero Hexa does know about his presence. Kara getting two, but can he get much more? Low HP dito si Leo, but Hexa still gets the headshot. Half HP on two players. Leo barely breathing dito sa loob ng B site. CJ gonna have to be a huge clutch para sa kanya dito. XPT all over the place. First one down. Leo out of commission, pero low HP na rin dito si CJ. Hexa in 3F will get itong si CJ eventually. 7-5 XPT. More up their alley itong Subbase, pare.
Second mid push. That's what you kind of like to see. Just overwhelming them with the absolute numbers. And talaga nga namang you can kind of rely on Hexa to try to find the timings every time and try to knock everybody in sa Vengeance. Especially with how well they're able to get themselves shutter control. They cleared every corner. They even got themselves dark room without that much contention. Tapos yung mga lockers players na I believe si Kara yung nag-hold nun. He's done a good job of trying to equalize. Pero yun nga lang, medyo naparami na ata yung naging kalaban niya dito for XPT. So it's a 7-5. They're back into spreading everybody all across the map. Dalawa dun sa may outer. May isa na nag-hold doon sa may vents, I believe. Tapos, MR control being held up by Ephraim, who honestly is pretty underrated when it comes to the lurking prowess that we can kind of notice from him. But I like that Vengeance are playing this as reserved as ever. I think one of the things that we can kind of talk about, the positives with them, is that they're a team that really can play with good communication when it comes to that.
Yun nga, Asinit will go for that mid push. Two players down, pero hindi nila in-expect Ephraim running on in from passage. Alretz was responsible for that, pare, but couldn't see him through that smoke. Ephraim will get spotted. CJ still challenging, trying to delay the inevitable dito, pare. Alretz around the corner will get the punish kay Ephraim eventually. In first na lang natitira, and the snipe galing kay Alretz before he crosses dito sa missile. 6-7 Vengeance. Finally an answer para sa kanila dito, pare.
Yeah, and finally it was coming through para dito kay Kara at CJ. as XPT will try to lay down the law with that first opening pick. Kay Alret's an inverse with a shot kay Azenit as well. Finally, a lot more damage done for XPT. Kara though, will find the timing dito kay Ephraim, who got a little bit too antsy with the push on. Down Jeloy, jump peeks on, finds Hexa dun sa may vents natin. So it will be a 3 versus 4 with the reset. A lot of control dito sa may MR, where Kristen's calling for the troops. See if he can overwhelm yung pag-push nito ni Kara. Pero yun nga lang, si Kara yung nag-push masyado na malayo para sa Vengeance with this 2 versus 4. Jeloy, solo mission, try to hold down itong shutter natin. Pero yun nga lang, Hexa's already inside of the site. And CJ's gonna find himself in 1 versus 4.
Yun nga, 35 seconds on the clock. CJ gonna check itong si Kristen around the corner. Doesn't get the headshot, unfortunately. 8-6, XPT 2 points away from getting access into port dito. Vengeance struggling in this back and forth. I mean, if this keeps going, yun nga, the score could go 10-8, pero Vengeance gonna go for the MR push. Immediate response galing sa XPT. Kristan will be the first player down. Pero A-site yung gusto nilang kunin dito. Outlets though with a good hold. Can't get the second shot dito kay Leo. But look at this delay. Hindi makapasok yung XPT ng basta-basta. Outlets getting stuck in that stairs position. He tells Kara to move right on back dito sa CR, pare. I'm trying to live.
He's just keeping him from that, man. Pero at least he's still alive. And eventually he'll find himself in the safety of his teammates ngayon. 4 versus 3. Believe they're calling for Ephraim to actually get themselves gathered in towards that side of the map. But Ephraim could also just try to lurk himself all across that forklift push nga naman, diba? Kara doesn't hit the shot, tries to go for it the second time in a row, pero yun nga lang, doesn't hit. Kahit kay Leo, kahit dito kay Inverse, Leo with a nice popcorn kay Kara. Low on HP na siya kanina. So mapapadali ang retake dito. Actually, yung magiging push all the way from Ephraim, who does kill himself tong si CJ. And eventually we'll have the movement para makapasok dito all the way from the WAG. Hinahabol ni Azenit. Flash on through. And I don't think he's gonna be expected dito.
Azenit, go for that, pare!
Azenit! How does he live? How is he still alive? How is Ephraim still alive dito, pre?
Ephraim is on through the smoke, brother. There's like a 0.5, 0.4 second window to swing that, man, bago niya kasahin yung kanyang N4. Oh, no. We are just overthinking malala dito para sa Vengeance. And ayun na nga. That slight moment of hesitation, pare, made all the difference. Pero to be fair, that A side was already locked down. Pero yun nga,
True.
that could have made all the difference. Pero let's see, can this be? Vengeance fighting back. Hexa inverse inside of yung bench position dito, pare. Waiting for any checks. Pag tumalon dito si Azenit, mawawalan siya ng ulo dito.
Both ready. He's gonna do that. Alvarez has his back. Kung second mid nga ba yung play dito for XPT, as they're gonna walk in with that smoke coming down. And I don't think Azenit is gonna be any sort of factor sa pagpush nila dito, as Hexa will get that first. Hexa with the double kill as well. The entry is just beautiful coming through for XPT as they even kill off 4 people from Vengeance. It's only going to be Kara, who's also going to get locked out of the site as well. So Ephraim with the AWM will seal the deal sa second set natin. That will be 10-6 for Xypher Pro Team as we will approach yung third set natin with a win on sub-base ngayon.
Ayun nga, sub-base gonna go in the way dito ni XPT. Good fight back galing sa kanila dito as soon as they have found themselves dito sa kanilang BL side. It's a lot more comfortable para sa kanila main. Vengeance getting caught all over the place. No? Hindi nila ma-hold yung LR, hindi nila ma-hold yung A site. Yun nga, no, there's a few good rounds where some of yung players dito ng Vengeance had some good holds, but unfortunately for them, no, XPT in their comfort zone pagdating sa mapa ng sub-base, pare.
Yeah, and it's only been the second time that they played this all throughout yung Impact season. So probably praktisado na sila before coming into the 2025 roadmap. So good job all across the board for XPT. You can kind of see that there's a lot of like good notes to come through. Especially yung sa mga times na gumagawa talaga sila ng paraan para knock away yung mga numbers advantages na ginagawa sana ng Vengeance. Good things to note that si Inverse all the way from his AWM, he's been doing pretty well on his sniper. Pero the biggest improvement that I've seen dito series natin has to be Hexa. I mean, when he is in sub-base, this guy turns up a notch. Talaga nagkakaroon ng ibang anyo dong si Hexa. And eventually, nung tumatagal yung laro natin, this guy popped up right now. So, good jobs on everybody from Cypher Pro Team, and I think very deserving since they kind of took it pretty slow nung nagtagal yung game natin, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think they needed a bit more firepower, no, para dito sa XPT to get this win over the hill. And yun nga, no, I really feel like Hexa contributing para sa kanyang team the way that he did really just kind of turned the tides, no, pabalik nga dito sa XPT. So let's see if that performance is still very consistent, no. Considering na mainit din si Inverse galing dito sa ating map number 2, yun nga, no, that sniper gonna be the main point of focus pagdating sa mapa ng port, considering that's your entire A-side defense on one player. And kung hindi nga gumana dito yung snipers on both ends, kung hindi gumana si Inverse, kung hindi gumana dito si Alrets, then that could spell trouble para sa team mo kasi ayun nga, it's kind of hard to rely on rifles pagdating sa mapa na to, pare.
Hirap talaga, you know. It doesn't really help as well for Vengeance that mabilisan lang din silang napipick off agad, eh, no? Kind of in my head, in a lot of moments, it had to be Kara sometimes who does get picked off on that first half. And CJ also hasn't been hot compared to his first game, but to be fair, he is a sub. Tapos parang we kind of put a little more expectation than we can kind of notice from him. Medyo nag-overform siya from that first set. So there is opportunity for him na makabawi dito sa ating third set natin, especially on port where, my goodness, yung pag-entry sa mapang to is gonna be brutal kung hindi ka nagkaroon ng LB control from the get-go, or kapag na-pick off ka agad from LA because of the sniper, then ayun, parang madadamage na agad yung entry nyo bago pa siya magsimula.
Yun nga, no, I am curious to see what the first half is gonna look like para sa dalawang teams natin, men. I mean, XPT haven't seen anything close to a port galing sa kanila dito, so yun nga would be a first time para sa kanila. Vengeance also not too particularly fond, no, ng mapa natin dito ng port. So fortunately, at least para dito sa Vengeance, na they do get to start dito sa GR side, so nasa kanila yung good start sa mapa na to. They really need to just make sure na sobrang solid ng kanilang defense dito sa port, kasi yun nga, pag mabigyan mo ng 2 or 3 or even 4, no, na rounds itong XPT, then ayun nga, that could be big trouble, pare, kasi honestly, Vengeance, sa nakikita ko, yung laruan yung ganito, men, pag nilipat nyo sa BL side ng port, if tumama dito XPT, then unfortunately, you could be in trouble dito, pare.
Actually, 2 times na naglaro ng port itong Xypher Pro Team. They've lost both of it to top teams natin dito. First from Rhea 7, 8-10 loss na map pick nga ng Xypher Pro Team. So confident sila. Tapos the last time was against Sunday Shrooms as well. 10-4 naman doon. So medyo naging stomp nga siya against Sunday Shrooms. But to be fair, medyo mainit nga yung sniper ng Sunday Shrooms, diba?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to stop si Jay Biceman when he is on full display, no, dito sa mapa natin. So kaya nga, hopefully maybe we do see the same energy galing dito from one of the players on either side. As we take a look at the set highlights, of course, sub-base, quite the back and forth nung first half, but then by the time na patapos na yung game natin, it was all Vengeance, or it was all XPT, pare.
No, nga naman, pre. It's like they needed some time to figure out kung ano nga ba yung secret sauce sa pagpasok, no? At na-figure out na nila. Talagang kailangan talaga nilang maghanap ng map control. And early on, it was smokes coming through from second mid. Sometimes they also kind of do that dun sa may lockers natin. And once they get themselves a good opening pick, ayun, parang early shutter control na sila agad. And sometimes with a late lurk, it always will be a good insurance policy. So talaga nga namang from top to bottom, at least in here, dito sa subbase natin, hindi siya consistent, pero at least nakahanap ng pambawi ang Xypher Pro Team ngayon against Vengeance. So this is a 1-1 na ngayon, mga tropa. May time pa para makabawi ang pareho natin kupunan, lalo na sa Vengeance ngayon, who honestly we were kind of high on, especially with how well they played yung first set nila. I think that CJ still has the potential para makapag-comeback dito in the series. We can kind of still get a bit more expectation coming through from Azenit, who really has been up and down nung sub-base natin. Napipick off siya sa mga kills ni Inverse. Sometimes na ugulat na lang siya na nasa likod na pala siya ni Ephraim. So if he's gonna be improving pagdating dito sa ating third set, malaking question mark pa lang sana yon. Pero ang magiging constant to para sa magiging performance ng XPT is that Hexa, he's been doing a good job, man. With this improvement, I think next set he'll also be a threat.
Yun nga, no? But you've already seen yung mga ibang players dito kind of performing depending on the map dito, pare. And let's see if they can keep it consistent. No? Port is quite a stark difference kumpara nga dito sa sub-base in size and in terms of playing the map itself. No? So, yun nga, could be a different look. But let's see if it's still the same result para dito sa XPT as we take a look at yung set summary. Yun nga, ones across the board. Para sa XPT as the highest one is itong si Inverse with a 1.63 KD, 0.81 kill per round. Yun nga, no? It's a team effort para sa kanila dito, pare.
Totoo, pre. And sasama-sama na ng pag-push from that BL side. You can kind of notice that everybody, their communication is on point. Their trading has been perfection. Close to it at least. Tapos, sa Vengeance, sa mga 50-50 fights nila, na kukuha nila yung advantage because of the util timing. So very well done para sa Xypher Pro team. Nakakuha sila ng 1-1 natin from that sub-base performance. And most especially coming through from their BL side, three straight round wins after that second half swap. Tapos isa pang 3 straight round wins. This tells you that kapag nakakuha sila ng advantage, talagang kukunin nila at tatakbuhan na lang nila yung kalaban nila. So we'll have to wait and see as we move on towards our set MVP. And I think we all know kung sino yan, pare. I think it will be the sniper para dito sa ating Xypher Pro team. It is Inverse, who definitely has showed up dito sa subbase natin.
Yun nga, Inverse, good performance galing sa kanya, men. Obvious holds from him. Also, a lot of openings, no, galing dito kay Inverse. He really took it to Alrets na despite Alrets hitting a whole lot of shots dito sa mapa natin, it seems like Inverse found a lot more, no, para sa kanyang team. And the fact na yung supporting cast dito ni Inverse was also doing very, very well. Yun nga, gave XPT the dub dito sa second map natin. Inverse, yun nga, if you can keep this level of sniping going, no, pagdating dito sa map number 3 ng Port, especially, I assume, no, na Inverse is gonna be responsible dito sa ating top 8 position, then yeah, maybe they could look for a map number 3 win. Problema lang talaga is that first half para sa XPT kasi yun nga, you have to play BL on Port and God knows na mahirap yun, pare, especially pag yun nga, no, medyo nakakuha na ng onting momentum itong GR side, pare.
Yeah. So will the snipers actually reign supreme pagdating dito? Kasi si Alrets at saka si Inverse, that matchup from the snipers is something to behold dito sa port map natin. Or will the riflers stand up towards sa kanilang victory? Malalaman natin yan. This is Xypher Pro Team versus Vengeance sa ating pinakaunang series sa week 4, day 1 ng CFPH Impact Summer 2025. Ako si Ramon, kasama si Sneaky Frog, and the broadcast will be right back. Welcome back mga tropa sa CFPH Impact Summer 2025 Week 4 Day 1 first series. It is gonna be all the way towards set 3 para sa Vengeance versus Xypher Pro Team na deny ang victory road para sa Vengeance pagkatapos ng napakainit na Xypher Pro Team sub-base. At mukhang support talaga magtutos ang pareho nating kupunan, and the snipers will be on full notice as well as how consistent the riflers will be as well. So Sneaky Frog, your thoughts on this matchup?
Ayun nga, just like how you said it, no, this is gonna be slightly more dependent pagdating nga dito sa mga snipers natin, especially that A position, very, very important, no. Mapapaisip din ako para dito sa Vengeance how aggressive are they gonna be able to defend itong CA area natin, especially considering how important it is dito sa LA push, and whether or not na yun nga, no, Alrets does try to actively challenge itong top 8 player or instead baka maghahanap dito siya sa mid. And para naman sa Vengeance, no, it's not out of the realm of possibility, pare, na magkakaroon sila ng double sniper setup siguro dito sa first half, considering na yun nga, no, yung mga ibang players natin can also snipe, itong si Kara also being able to snipe as well. So yun nga, no, would be surprised if the double sniper does get pulled out na ayun nga, just to bolster the defense a lot more dito, pare.
Yeah. Sometimes nagiging popular na yun kahit nag-start ka on that GR side. So we'll have to wait and see if yun nga yung mangyayari dito para sa Vengeance. I kind of forgot kung sino yung mag-start dito. But for Xypher Pro Team, I think for them, the start is gonna be how well they're gonna be taking yung picks up muna dito. I'm thinking about those times na nagpupush yung ibang mga players natin. I think they had a good start sana on their Rhea 7 game dahil hindi sila natatakot na mga pag-push from LB. Sometimes they had really decent Z control as well. And because of that, nagiging maayos yung pag-rotate nila from both sides of the map. So Will this be a case para dito sa Xypher Pro Team with good setups or madidisrupt nga lang ba yun ng Vengeance with their slow tempo? We'll have to wait and see pagdating dito sa ating magiging port map as both teams are loading up the server para lang tayo makapasok dito sa game in just a short while. But honestly, this game is very important as you can see from both of these matchups kasi pareho silang in the middle of the board and they kind of need a lot of these points para lang makakatch up tayo dito sa ating magiging top 4. I believe top 5, top 6 yung labanan natin in terms of the standings, and whoever does get themselves a leg up dito will really much matter pagdating sa ating pag-reflect ng buong standings in buong week 4 natin.
Yeah, and especially considering no na in terms of yung map record plus yung record in general no pare, itong Xypher and itong Vengeance actually tied up. So this could be the decider whether or not na Xypher can secure itong 5th place or Vengeance can secure itong 5th place again dito sa ating standings pare. So yun nga no, could be the difference maker. Yung 4th place is kind of sealed off considering na Matches is kind of sitting in that spot no. So ayun nga, it's about kind of just about staying high dito sa standings pare.
Yeah, and if they're able to do that, then that's going to be a good choice for them moving forward. But for Port, being a map where I guess a lot of that scope will be on Alrets, who honestly has been a bit of on a 50-50 habang tumatagal yung game natin for Vengeance. He didn't do too hot nung naglaro tayo doon sa may Ankara, and it was inverse all throughout nung naging if we're talking about the snipers sa pareho natin kupunan, I believe doon naman sa second set, doon pa lang nakabawi tong si Inverse for XPT. So not a lot of conversation all around Alrets, but now a chance to shine for him if he start dito sa ating port. And if he does start on GR, then this will be good news for him. But we'll have to wait and see pagpasok natin dito sa may map natin as both Vengeance and Xypher Pro Team are ready and good to go. If Ephraim is gonna find timings, if Kristan's gonna keep his stability moving forward, then at least may foundation ng XPT. But foundation's been the name of the game nga naman para sa Vengeance so far.
Yeah. I think si Ephraim is probably the only player that we haven't really seen anything eye-popping galing sa kanya. No? It has been just been a lot of holds para sa kanya dito. He does all the stuff na yun nga, the team doesn't want to do. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Port map, XPT dito sa kanilang BL, Vengeance on their GR side, and titignan natin how XPT navigates their way dito sa port.
Find himself Z control. Crossfire set up. Jeloy naded out. CJ, lots of timings, a responsibility, kills off Leo. Kristen with a jumping headshot. CJ and Jeloy down. As in it, walang timing. At kuntikan pa nga sana, mapapatay itong si Hexa. Maybe the Nade can do it. Kara gets another and a popcorn shot papunta kay Hexa as well. So Vengeance are fighting back with the setup. And eventually, they win off the first round thanks to an aggressive B control galing dito kay Vengeance.
Yun nga. Vengeance a lot more forward pagdating dito sa mapa ng port. I kind of like it, no? Kumpara sa nakikita natin from the usual first rounds. Everyone just testing everything out. Pero Vengeance hitting a lot more shots that time. Let's now finding himself dito sa LB. Pero wala masyadong coverage dito sa Z area natin. So they're gonna have to be careful about the underside ng kanilang bridge. Karo actually on that top A position habang si Alrets medyo nag-iikot sa mapa natin.
A lot of time to figure out kung LA or CA will be that point of contact here. They got a double setup. Kara spotted. It will be the first point of contention, but Kara gets a double kill as well. Leo and Hexa. A little easy for them to get painted with their walls in blood as Alrets will hit a few shots coming through from the AWM. Finally, some noise being made from the XPT sniper as Ephraim gets a double kill, but Azanet will get themselves the last frag. So a 2-0 para sa Vengeance. A good setup papunta dito sa LA.
Yeah, that kind of answers the question, no, whether or not na makaka-defend ba dito si Alrets ng top A or hindi. Seems like it is the first option, pare. It is the first option. Pero yun nga, Vengeance with a good hold on that A side. Bit of an attempt pa sa XPT. XPT, we have yet to see anything dito sa B side with the exception of that first round skirmish. Pero titignan natin. Flash is gonna go through Jeloy. Nasa loob ng Z. CJ around the corner. Pero mapapabalik dito yung XPT. Actually, they hesitate a bit as soon as they see that smoke dito sa LB.
Yeah, and good util timing as well. So a bit of a semblance to a crossfire yet again set up. It's kind of similar to the previous round that we saw as Hexa. He will actually get tong si Jelloy. So a good opening and a good double kill. A triple
what a
from
shot.
Hexa. A cult double kill. 1-2 punch from Hexa. XPT relying on him para magkaroon ng pop-up moments. Pero yun nga lang, Aldrets and Kara. The flank comes through. And eventually, Vengeance will have to play this retake coming from behind all the way from our S. Aldrets comes out of the smoke. Leo does not hit the shot. Eventually does. And it will be a 1 versus 3. But Kara will get killed off by Hexa in time. XPT with Hexa on the prowl. A triple from him and a first round on the board.
Finally, pretty early round as well. Para sa XPT, no? I mean, we're in round number 3. And already got something going dito sa kanilang BL side. BNG need to answer immediately as 2 in a row would spell disaster para sa kanila dito. I mean, even a 7-2 sa mapa na to is still very, very hard para sa mga BL natin. So, would need to be pure domination from Vengeance in this defense as XPT, they slowly check itong CA. Kara around the corner. Gonna ask for a flash. Mukhang hindi. Hexa gonna offer his shoulder dun para he won't die, pero he will feel the brunt of that damage. Nade as well, adding to the pain. I mean, CA attempt, pero thwarted dito na VNG, pare.
Okay. Ganda nga na setup eh, no? Long A setup by Aldrets who, let's be real, it was a threat nung first round pa lang, so nagiging passive si Ephraim because of that risk. Kaya confident tong si Karam na hold yung CA natin. So you do see a lot of damage done dito kay Hexa, who's now calling upon the support from Kristan this time around. So, also prompts XPT to kind of think twice about yung decision nila dito. As si Kara naman yung lalapit. Baka hindi pa alam to ng XPT, as in it will kill out tong si Hexa. Spot out tong si Kristan, but Kristan's very aware. Alam na alam ko na mangyayari dito from Kara. 1 for 1. 1 minute on the clock. B site gonna be on full notice para dito sa XPT. That's why Jelloy is already on the site.
Nga, probably heard yung itong si Jelloy actually jumping in that bottom B position. That can prevent the entire team from entering with one flash. Pero as in it, round the corner, Ephraim spotted sa curve. Ephraim will be the first player down. Good hold dito sa B site. Flashes are gonna start to fly. Leo will get one. CJ will get the trade kay Kristan. Leo, known entity as well dito sa baba ng BR. So good expectation. Galing kay CJ. How did Inverse see that shot? No way, Inverse!
What?
Getting 2. Hindi pa tapos. Hindi pa tapos yung XPT dito, pare. Pero Inverse, 1 HP, and the dream. Pero Jelloy, a familiar sight para dito sa XPT, pare. Jelloy living on 1. As a 3-1 para sa Vengeance, man. Pero that was too close for comfort, pare.
Para bumalik tayo sa first set natin, no? CJ popping up with multi-frags, Jelloy winning off a clutch yet again. And it's almost like we wind the clock back. And XPT gonna have to play the tempo game this time around. Already, nasa loob sila ng B site. Not finding any anchors at all. There you also see na nasa likod lamang sila doon sa may B side itself. As they let themselves plant the spike on down, or the C4 actually, into a 5 versus 5 retake for Vengeance. They're gonna have to play this as cool, calm, and collectively as ever. Kristan will get the first. Jelloy with the 1 for 1. They spray on through. Naharap pa si Jelloy at mukhang may flank ba nga. Kara and Azinit already at the right place at the right time. Kara the last player alive, but he's not gonna be on for longer. Ephraim with another good shot para sa XPT. A 2-3 thanks to a solid entry sa loob ng B side.
Yun nga, 3-2, boding well para sa XPT. As Ephraim around the corner, getting Kara with the spray. Meron pang dalawang player na nasa loob ng BR at this very moment. And look at the amount of damage na nagawa dito ng Vengeance. Leo, Aldrets, that's a freebie, pare. Couldn't actually capitalize on it. Yun lang, 4 versus 4.
Daming damage. Low na agad ang karamihan na nasa XPT, but luckily nakakuha sila ng B-side control. That's why you can kind of see Kristan willing to take the fight kahit nasa ilalim lang siya dito sa pag-entrada na on the B-side. As Vengeance are gonna have to play on this. Lots of damage done, lots of nades. Pero yun nga lang sa pagpasok, kay kakalabanin lang nila yung entry on the way from XPT. Leo gets one. Inverse. Right place, right time possibly. At nasa likod pa lang siya ng mid. Pero yun nga lang ang solid ng hold ng XPT this time around as Jelloy will pop in with a 1 versus 1. Hindi niya alam kung nasan si Inverse ngayon, pare. Trying to check yung house natin. Inverse slowly creeping up. And with that sniper, It's gonna be a good time for him as he hacks
Wait!
one step at a
Inverse!
time. Bakit? Inverse, hindi niya alam.
Na-stuck siya,
Ba't hindi niya
pare!
pa-start?
Oh! Na-stuck siya sa
Sayang.
stairs. I think gusto din chinechempo niya lang yun, min, pero nakabunggo siya sa pader, pare. That's all I have to say. Yun yung nasa utak dito ni Inverse, man. That's a dub waiting to happen. Hexa getting 2 immediately sa mid, though. And let's see if XPT can provide the exact same answer and the fast-paced game this time. Hexa getting another one, pare. A lot faster from XPT. They're tired of waiting around. They want to go for the site itself. Kristan will get itong si Jeloy as Alrets will fall. That's a straight-up kill round para sa XPT.
What is that, man? The next 2 rounds, it's almost like na-frustrate sila sa nangyari kaya they just said, you know what? Labanan na lang natin sila, no? Wala nang takot. At sa pag-entrada na doon sa may B-site, talaga nga naman nakakusap pa nga sila ng picks. That's a triple for Hexa on the mid-side push. And you gotta see that there is gonna be an uptick in his performance except for Kara on his push. Nahanap pa nga doon dito sa may CA. They're all spread out to see if they can get themselves the trade-off dito. Alright, he never expected to see Leo. And eventually, he doesn't get himself the punish. But Ephraim, also at the right place at the right time, trades off itong si Leo this time around. 3v3. LA push. They have enough para dito sa XPT. Especially with the sniper down. Pero as in it, he's still on top. And eventually, he will find an opportunity para patayin si Ephraim pero pinaglalaroan lang niya yung pagkain niya, pare. At mukhang maparage pa nga siya dito. But Inverse already inside the top. And 1 versus 2 this time for CJ who really is very late to the party, pare.
Yun nga, I'm surprised Asinit didn't get that second kill, pare. Ladder is usually at the advantage ng top A player. Inverse. Bawasan na agad. Inverse gonna try to peek around the corner with his teammate na si Tristan. Oh, but doesn't get it, unfortunately. 4-4 XPT. Nako po, tying things up dito sa mapa natin. This is bad news para sa Vengeance, man. That second half is gonna be a pain to play, pare.
Absolutely. As close as this gets, it does not bode well, especially for XPT. Well, for Vengeance right now. This is the side where they actually had to have like the most amount of wins. Pero yun nga, sa sobrang close sa mga rounds natin, sa sobrang aggressive ng XPT, once they had control over LA, once na makill off nila yung sniper, eventually that hesitation, nawala agad sa isang iglap. 4-4. Spread out. Lahat ng mga tao dito for XPT, they have triple long B control. They eventually have somebody crawling upon yung LA push natin. Ephraim has been doing exactly that from sub-base pa lang. As they're trying to noticing that Leo is already on mid, and Asinit takes advantage of that. Kills off Leo. Lurker down. 4 versus 5, and XBT eventually will attempt for that B-side push.
Oh, sees the name. Doesn't get the shot though, Jeloy. Good patience on the flash, no? Hindi niya tinapon agad yun. So yun nga, I mean, it's still a steady B. It's still a steady B defense pa. Hindi kailangan gumalaw dito ng Vengeance. As long as Asinit does not lose itong curve position, it's gonna be fine. Never mind, Inverse. Wall banged with an M4 dito, pare. Wala na siya magawa doon. Couldn't even see his opponent. Pero Ephraim, round the corner. Hexa will get itong si Kara trying to check. Itong C8 natin. It's a 4 versus 3. Pero wala pang forward players from Vengeance, man. They're keeping their elbows in the right, pare.
As it's still holding the mid side, which honestly, he's been a monster at every single time. LA still in control of Alrets. The sniper still alive, so you can kind of still notice that Ephraim and Hexa. Okay lang sa kanila na maging slow dito. And just because of that, Alrets will shut down that split push. Unless Kristan can do something about it, yun nga lang, CJ's gonna shut him down. 1 versus 4 para kay Hexa ngayon. 25 seconds. Has the C4. Has spot atong si CJ. Kills him with the wall bang. Pero may expect ba niya itong si Jeloy? Nade out, not gonna be the perfect situation for you, brother. 5-4 for Vengeance. Jeloy with the right place shot. Papunta dito sa last player. And in their half, they did the most that they can. Pero yun nga lang the fact na 4 round wins ang XPT. Well, mukhang madadalian ang kanilang magiging GR half.
Yun nga. Let's see if they can set the pace early on dito sa mapa natin. GR side. Now in the hands ng XPT. And if it's any side to build a huge lead dito sa mapa natin, this could be the one. Kara trying to B-hop his way dito nga sa CA, but Ephraim got that spot. Nate's gonna go through. Asinit will get the just trade, pero information still para sa XPT na meron pang secondary na player na nasa loob ng CA. So, they're gonna start to move yung mga ibang players natin papuntang A site, pero spotted ang pag-cross ni Kristan. But, yun nga, no? A site being held by Inverse. Rest of yung mga players natin can focus on somewhere else.
Medyo may choice itong si Kristan to either hold yung mid natin kasi baka mataasan sila all the way from bridge or mabigyan ng suporta itong si Inverse kasi kung hindi, mo-overwhelm lang siya kung papasok na sila from LA. But because of the slow tempo na ginagawa ng Vengeance, mukhang naka-cross out ang lahat ng cons ng dalawang choices ni Kristan. So mas may flexibility siya kung saan siya mag-hold dito. It looks like it's leaning towards yung support niya dito on LA with Inverse trying to hold the helm. While Vengeance, they have a lot of time to try to consider yung options nila. They made a lot of noise doon pa lang sa may mid kanina. And because they had Z control, madali sa mga pag-rotate onto B site. But are they gonna be aware na nandito na si Hexa who, let's be real, has been tearing up yung server natin on port right now. Flash on in, may entry na ang Vengeance. Aware na agad tong si Leo kaya may support na tong si Hexa. Flash again at may time pa ba para makapag-peek tong si Hexa? Mukhang bababa na lang siya. They let the site be taken by Vengeance. They haven't planted the C4 down and looks like they will. 40-second push. Retake comes on. Inverse with one. It's Leo with another. That. Vengeance will get cleaned up eventually by 4 people of XPT. Ganong kalinis. Isa-isa silang bumagsak.
I did not expect XPT to pull that kind of maneuver dito sa laruan natin. I've always said this B site can definitely be defended or retaked na yung dalawang players na andito lang sa ilalim waiting for them to pour on inside. It kind of forces itong VNG to play inside of site itself, which isn't the best position to be in as the amount of cover is very, very thin at pwede pang may threat na lumabas dito sa HB. Pero XPT, man, super well played macro-wise yung round na yun to be specific, pare. And they tie up yung game natin. GR side pa sila dito. They got the first round, but can they keep the momentum going, pare?
One of those rounds na masasabi natin, the patience was rewarded. You can kind of notice na nandun pa lang si Leo, but Leo doesn't get himself in an awkward position. He's waiting for everybody to come to him para ma-layer down utility at everybody's just looking at the right timing talaga. So, good job on that hold. Now we got into the next round as Inverse, that long A shot all the way to CJ, knocks down one of the entries. Ephraim also right place for him. Kristan gets another, a double for both Ephraim and Kristan. As he said, GR, very potent side para sa XPT and it looks like enjoy na enjoy sila dito, pare.
Yun nga, really good cover from Kristan, man. Even getting yung player na gustong umakyat dito sa site na gustong patayin si Inverse. And yun nga, starting to roll yung momentum dito, XPT. Despite yung slower pace dito ng Vengeance, trying to draw their attention all over the place dito, para hindi sila naloloko kasi yun nga, Inverse is on that top A position and you can rely on yung sniper dito ng XPT to hold LA by himself. Ibig sabihin, no, there's other sides of the map that you can focus on, and that's why itong si Hexa on the bottom side ng CA, pag merong nag-cross dito ng mid and hindi nag-check na kanyang spot dito, that's a free 4v5 waiting.
Good setups talaga, you know? That's why this map is so GR-sided. The self-sufficiency of the sniper, tapos kung gaano ka-reliable si Hexa except for that round.
Okay, there we go.
Yun nga lang, at least may 3 doon, di ba? That's why Ephraim is also usually yung mid player natin, holding that bridge position. Good timing on killing off tong si Alret, so that 1-for-1 is gonna be noted. But still, yun yung isa sa mga pinakamainit para dito sa XPT. And now, that kind of leaves that mid side wide open unless you put tong si Leo na i-hold na lang yung position na yon. They also have tong si Kristan be that self-sufficient player doon sa may B side.
Yeah, medyo mag-shift yung priorities nyo in a 4v4 when it comes to the map of port. Curve gonna be a lot more dangerous. Pero may flash nga dito sa LB. Bit of information going in the way ng XPT thanks to Leo's position dito sa curve. But 4 versus 4 pa naman. VNG taking it very slow dito sa mapa natin. And they're really looking for any opportunities, any overextenders dito, pare. Pero walang lumalabas para sa kanila dito. So Asinit might have to force his way into that curve position, waiting for itong si Kara. Pero Ephraim, he did spot itong si Kara and he doesn't have to commit to that. Pwede siyang mag-back off all the way. And there we go. It's just pure delay from the boys over at Vengeance. And Leo, is he gonna look behind him? Asinit actually detouring back into the A site, pare, and he gets spotted info relayed papunta nga dito kay Ephraim. Ephraim gets his second one, pare. And Vengeance, it seems like the unexpected detour. Pabalik nga dito ng A side. XPT is not fooled at all, pare.
Yeah, and you kind of also thought that it could be like a surprise play waiting to happen. But I think Azanet also was thinking that the threat of the rotation was also gonna come to happen. Kaya medyo naging nagpanic yung idol natin eh, no? But once again, will be that round win coming through for XPT. Alrets though, will spot atong si Inverse. So that Sniper 1v1 is to be noted. With a headshot nonetheless for Alrets. As he continues to try to go for more pot shots. Pero yun nga lang, since nagna-notice pa nga sila na may bridge control inside ng XPT, they're not willing to take the fight unless Hexa wants to push in. Medyo deep siya dito, pare.
Yeah, Kara though, bit reckless with the swing. Hexa will not get it. Yeah, has the AK-47 in his hands and not the best wallbang damage from that weaponry, pare. So finally an advantage para sa VNG. Alreds down to half. Pero yeah, XPT, now is your time to do something, pare. Someone has to make a play happen. And good damage being dealt dito ni Kristan. Actually, 2 low HP players makes it a lot easier to defend in a 3v5, pare.
Leo on the spot where I don't think Vengeance have already realized it. Eventually they do with the missed shot. That's 2 missed attempts from Leo. Has to go back now. And because of the smoke placed down on default, mukhang mahirapan sila dito. Kristan, good flash. Right place, right time. God box gonna be held by Kristan. Pero nga lang, it will be the entry headshot coming through for Karar. Jeloy also knocks down Leo. 1 versus 5 for Ephraim. Si Kuya Ephraim, saan ka magagaling, pare? All the way from RS. Possibly try to rotate all the way towards Kerr. Pero yun nga lang, Kara's gonna knock him down with a double kill. And a 6-7 for Vengeance.
Yeah, di ko na-expect yung hard check dito sa Jenny, but see it either way. So, 6-7 Vengeance. Okay, round on the board para sa kanila dito. Finally got something going dito sa kanilang BL side. XPT still in full control dito sa laruan natin. But let's see. Malay mo, Vengeance can start a streak of their own. Pero yun nga, same old man. So, it's another default. What a surprise.
Okay. Basta Vengeance yun, no? Talagang hindi mo may expect na mabilisan sila mag-push. Kind of the calling card for this team. As you can see, Kara trying to take a chance, a back turn. That's a flash coming forward. Ephraim does not see anything at all. Thanks to the support, Kara is able to get himself the first pick off dito. So a 5 versus 4 where Vengeance are happy to take that pick and try to go back towards their default positions. Get some info and gather whatever is left from the info given to them by XPT sa mga default positions din nila.
Yun nga. Kara down to 1 HP. Still, 4v5 para dito sa ating Vengeance na squad. I mean, taking a first pick all are out already, no? So, Inverse, not so committed dito sa curve. I think, they really do trust si Leo to hold it down dito sa curve area natin. Pero Vengeance finally starting to enter yung LB. LB gonna be occupied, pero Leo actually gonna back up his teammates here, pero meron pang malayuan na flank na pwede mangyari dito. Flashes, nades are gonna start to fly, but this is what you want. Kung kayo yung XPT, Hexa around the corner on Godbox. Hexa getting 2! Jelly mahuhulog dito, Hexa getting 3!
Oh my
and
God.
even 4! Hexa with a one-man defense dito sa Godbox, pare! Vengeance? I mean, I don't expect the 2-box player to get that position going. Inverse, makakaltukan pa nga. Kristan, down to 1 HP. That's a fully blinded CJ as he jumps into his doom, pare. What a freaking hold by Hexa dito, men.
The pop-off player that we've been looking out for from XPT. Called on the first set. Medyo nag-improve na second. Pero pagkapasok dito sa port on the second half, activated na si Idol Hexa. A 4K, almost an ace thanks to his Godbox position. God damn, they never had any chance whatsoever sa pagpasok ng site at all. Vengeance, back to their slow tempo. They kind of started really well after killing off agad si Ephraim from CA. But after some hesitation and some lack of info coming through over to A, they kind of use that. At parang ginamble na lang nila yung push all the way towards B site. That's kind of like the 50-50 that they never actually had a chance into nung pinush nila all the way from that B site, as a lot of noise being made by Azenit. LA being put on notice for inverse at saka dito kay Ephraim. I think the plan here is to keep the lower player on that A site para mas maayos yung magiging mid push nila. So probably yung magiging target nila is etong si Leo na nag-hold lang yung curve natin.
Yeah, XPT 2 points away in this game, so they don't want to make any mistakes dito sa mapa natin. Lot more of a passive defense kumpara sa nakikita natin in that mid position. 50 seconds left. Vengeance have a choice to make. Are they gonna send it dito sa A site? Pero worried ako, man. There's no one in CA to set up any nades para pang distract dito kay Inverse. Pero Leo tagged up at the start. Kara heard around the corner. Inverse will not hit his first shot. He's gonna need a bit of help galing sa kanyang mga teammates dito. Pero fortunately, nandito Hexa, Ephraim down to defend his right side. Pero Leo steady. He knows na merong lalabas dito sa mid and he does get the punish. And that is the rest of the squad finally gone in dito sa A site. Mapapaakit pa nga dito ang buong XPT na squad. Man, their defense rotations so on point, pare.
It does not help that they also have so many rounds nung nag-start na sila dun sa second half. Pero again, that rotation timing, the calls, the communication on point, tamang-tama na nasa loob lang sila on that exit position. Everybody from Vengeance could not even push up towards top. There was a slight chance, a slight opening kung nakakuha pa nga sana tong si Jeloy, pero still, XPT playing as a unit, playing as one, pare. 6-9. Set point na ang XPT. And Xypher Pro Team are just one round away from claiming themselves a 2-1 victory and an improvement on the standings. Vengeance, aware of this, gonna have to go back to their calling card. But Kara able to get the headshot kay Leo into that wall bang. 4 versus 5 early on. And eventually they go back to just playing that passive role and try to see if they can get some early info. Crossfire established. Inverse down. Azenit with a double kill. They got full LB control and possibly a B site execute waiting to happen.
Ayun nga. So Hexa's gonna go down. Yun nga, another chance para sa Vengeance to get back into this game as they get the 7th.
Oh, Ephraim? Oh my goodness. This, yun nga lang. Sobrang low na on HP. 1v3. Kara also gonna be trailing up against him. That's a triple kill and eventually Kara will knock him down. So that's a 7-9. Medyo konti na lang sana makapag-ace clutch si Idol, pero still, it will be another round for Vengeance and it will be another lifeline para sa port map nila.
Yun nga, Vengeance stave off tong XPT for just one more round. Kara, Ninja, spotting Leo. Leo, how do you not expect that, brother? Pero yun nga, hasn't seen a Ninja this entire game. So, medyo na blindside siya dito ni Kara, pare. Kara doing God's work dito sa mapa ng port, pare, with 18 frags. That he's going up against 3 players who also have double digits dito sa mapa natin. Pero Azenit also having a hell of a game, 14 and 12 dito sa laruan, but one mistake and this entire effort dito sa kanilang BL side could be over. But they're really trying to attract any player galing sa XPT na gumawa lang talaga ng isang reckless na play to get this 4v5 going. Pero Inverse actually punishing itong si Kara. So that is a start para sa XPT. Kristan can maybe spot Inverse actually going in and good push galing kay Kristan. He doesn't get out though. Okay lang yan. I think 3v3 is fine to play para XPT and Ephraim straight up swings itong CA, pare. That's a psycho peek, fully knowing na may tao sa DR. What is going on, man? What is going on sa port?
Everybody's pushing.
I have a feeling that Vengeance is gonna somehow win this round, but man, XPT, surprise after surprise.
Just everybody's pushing, man. Everybody's hitting their shots. Ephraim The solo LA push that could have actually swung into their favor. Inverse does not hit the shot. Ephraim gets a spray down. Ephraim gets a 4K. And eventually, na-close out nila ang port map dito. 10-7, 2-1 para sa Xypher Pro Team. And it took all 3 sets para makaabot tayo dito. But finally, the boys from Pampanga finally done it. They solidified themselves as, I believe, the top 4, top 5 dito sa standings natin. And it's a good of a game as we could kind of expect from a team that's trying to trail up.
Yeah, for sure, no. Granted, it was a bit of delay galing sa kanila dito, especially after itong map number 1, but a very, very good recovery galing dito sa XPT. I've always believed na this team was better than their record, pare. And yun nga, I was correct. Granted na 2-0 nga yung pinredict natin dito. Seems like at the end of the day, XPT will still get the win and move up dito sa 5th place as they secure it, pare. So, that's very good news and I'm pretty happy as well, no? Kasi yun nga, no, new-ish team inching closer to playoffs, pare. It's exciting times dito sa CFPH Impact, pare.
Yeah. And I think they're gonna be happy knowing that it took them a while bago sila makapasok dito. Almost a reverse sweep, actually, to be honest with you. Well, ano ba? Nanalo yung Vengeance first game, tapos 2 straight games. Yeah, it's a reverse sweep nga naman at the end of the day. So XPT, it took a grind, it took a while, especially for their star players to actually shine. Si Ephraim na sinabi natin na parang pinag-usapan mo kanina, Sneaky, before we actually started the support na he hasn't been the type of player that actually pops off a lot, but now he kind of finds his god timings, he swings unexpectedly. And I think his confidence, especially from Port, has exponentially grown times 20 siguro after this game. So Hexa being a really, really good star player kapag nasa form na nga siya. It took him 3 games para magkaroon siya ng form and eventually he does actually deliver. Kristan, you can also kind of expect na may consistent all throughout. So XPT had their core players really stack up at the right time. So against Vengeance, who really started a little slowly pagdating doon sa kanilang BL side, which honestly isn't the strongest side dito sa support map natin. Considerably, I think they were alright, even if they lose dito sa XPT, considering how close the game was.
Yeah, for sure. Yung nga, Vengeance, I guess para sa kanila expectations going into the series na they will be getting itong series in an easier route, no, pare. Pero unfortunately for them, ayun nga, the XPT have something to prove dito sa CFPH Impact. So, ayun nga, props talaga para sa kanila dito. As we take a look at the highlights, we saw a whole lot of Kara, pare, and as in it, rest of the squad, not so much, pare.
Yeah, oh man. I mean, we kind of had flashes coming through from either one from Vengeance, and we kind of needed them to kind of get out of the shell that we kind of used from them na medyo maging passive sila from that BL side. But I guess it is their playstyle at the end of the day, and they know what works with it. So, with Kara and Azadit trying to pick up the helm, I kind of expect them being one of those few players na can kind of make a difference. But I guess medyo naghahanap pa sana tayo from Jeloy as well as from CJ, which honestly Jeloy kind of sort of disappeared nung dumating tayo dun sa second at sa third game natin, which honestly I don't really blame him for. Sobrang tagal nga naman ng game and eventually the pressure kind of catches up to you. So for XPT to be able to kind of bounce back after a 0-1 deficit, it's kind of happy to see, especially with this team having a lot of doubts dun sa start nila from that first game. Well, it was against Ria 7 Narmita, so parang okay lang naman siguro with one of the best teams in Impact actually showing up against you. Kaya nagkaroon ng time para mapag-recover yung XPT. So with this win, mas magiging maayos yung kanilang magiging improvement para sa Impact Summer.
For sure. I'm gonna keep tabs nga dito sa XPT. So yun nga, I'm already keeping tabs, honestly, sa kanila dito. They've also been playing some stream games kalaban dito sa Sunday Rooms, and to be fair, they didn't do too bad, no? Dun sa... Could you call it a scrim? I wouldn't call it a scrim. Siguro like just a match siguro between yung dalawang teams. But...
Friendly game?
Yeah. Friendly game, there we go. Friendly game siguro.
Yeah.
And ayun nga, it seems like that bit of practice siguro kind of helped them, especially pagdating sa mapa ng Port, no? I mean, I feel like they kind of took some liberties galing dito sa SS, pare, not gonna lie.
Yeah, some inspiration coming through from Mr. J Vice himself, but again, I guess that's what happens when you play a league where medyo close yung mga players natin, medyo scrim lang sila ng isa't isa, but eventually we reach yung set summary natin, and with the stats coming through, everybody had, like, except for Leo, parang positive yung mga KD, okay na okay naman yung mga shots precise tong si Ephraim today. Medyo nag-hit nga yung mga headshots natin. And kind of interesting to see that Hexa and Ephraim, they're kind of at a battle between each other, parang to the challenge na yung isa't isa. I think the biggest thing that I'm looking out for is how much of a support either one of these rifles actually provides for the team, kasi parang they bring out the best in each other. And I think Hexa has really done just that for Ephraim, who, let's be real, nung medyo tumatagal yung Impact Summer, I was watching out for more highlights from Ephraim, and I'm glad that he showed up just like he did ngayon.
Yeah, just like I said earlier, he was the guy that has yet to have a pop-off game though. Dito sa buong tournament natin. So it's nice na we see a 1.82 performance galing sa kanya dito, especially on that second half, pare, na Ephraim was really just holding it down para sa kanyang team dito, pare. I mean, getting those just trades, making sure na Inverse is safe dito sa top A position, no, pare. So, Inverse had an easier time considering yung ginawa dito ni Ephraim, pare. So it's very, very, very nice display of teamwork between yung Sniper and the Xypher dito, pare. Pero, ayun nga, NT para kay Kara, man. I mean, 12 AP, 1.29 KD, and para dito kay Azinit, had a hell of a game as well. Pero, ayun nga, with Alred, CJ, and Jeloy kind of disappearing dito sa game natin doesn't really help the case ng Vengeance to get this port map, pare.
Yeah. Na medyo greetings muna kay Sua, kasi mali mo pagdating dun sa Impact next week, baka makabalik na siya dito. Pero let's take a look at yung set MVP natin. This has been one hell of a series, and with this set we can kind of give it to one of them from XPT, and right now it's Ephraim, that pop-up player na hinahanap sana natin all throughout Impact Summer, has finally showed up. It is a 1.18 kill per round para sa kanya, and on the helm as well, on his KD, medyo he's usually gonna be a reserve player, pero right now medyo nangingibabaw na yung how confident he is on the duels. So, congratulations kay Ephraim talaga, pare. Medyo bukang bibig na natin siya ngayon.
Yeah, and I really hope na they do perform dito sa kanilang next na series, as I think kalaban nila yung they're up matches next, no? So that's gonna be hell of a matchup para dito sa XPT, but with what they've learned dito sa weeks and weeks ng CFPH Impact, malay mo, no? They could get a dent against itong MJ, pare, who is currently sitting dito sa ating top spot. As we take a look at the match results, it is a 10-7 no Ankara, pero XPT, they didn't look back ever since yung map 2 natin, men.
Oo nga eh. Talagang striding forward, kahit medyo they took like a longer route papunta dito sa point natin. And Vengeance, they were kind of set up for success sana if in a lot of those situations where nakapag-equalize pa nga yung Xypher Pro team on that sub-base with a 6-6, medyo nag-slow down na yung tempo, and you can kind of notice the Xypher Pro team really from the get-go just took matters into their own hands sa pag-entry nila from second mid, at saka yung mga entries nila all the way from the WAG as well. So congratulations sa Xypher Pro team. They found the winning formula nung nasa sub-base pa lang sila, and now they stride on into their next week with an improved score sa ating magiging top 5 score line dito sa standings natin. So I think it's safe to say that Impact really has competitive teams at with Xypher Pro team starting, I believe, around top 7, top 6 sa ating standings back then. The improvement is steady, and from a team that really hasn't made a lot of splash social media sa ibang mga local tournaments, I think it's a nice sight to behold with Xypher Pro team moving on.
For sure. And ayun nga, we're gonna have our match MVP, of course, dito sa ating series, who did the best dito sa ating Xypher Pro team. And I do have a guess on who it is. I think it is most likely itong si Inverse, pare, and or itong si Kristan. I think Kristan was the most consistent player all throughout yung series natin. So would be surprised if it does go his way.
I don't think there's an argument for. I don't think we could kind of give an argument for Exa, but to be fair, his map 1 medyo was lackluster, but it was also thanks to the beautiful setups na nakikita natin from Vengeance. It does favor yung mga teams na medyo slow yung mga setups nila, and medyo sa BL side nila dun sila naging favorable. Pero sa match MVP natin sa buong naging series, walang iba kundi si Kristan, as you mentioned. Yung consistency ni Kristan sa lahat ng mga binato sa kanya ng mga kalaban niya ngayon, talaga naman noted yung naging impact ni Kristan all throughout. Sa tatlong matches natin, positive KD siya all throughout, pare.
Yeah, I mean, Kristan has been the possibly the best player no alongside itong si Inverse dito sa XPT for all the games that they have played dito sa CFSPH Impact. So not surprised about yung match MVP natin. Obviously, yun nga no, pun intended pare, his impact on the team really is understated. Pwede nga natin sabihin, as much as we do love to put a spotlight nga dito sa ating sniper, eh nga no, the amount of times na Kristan saved itong si Inverse from certain doom dito sa top is absolutely astounding pare.
Yeah. And we can kind of expect a lot more out of him, lalo na pag nagtagal yung Impact Summers. We can take a look at the MVP highlights in just a short while. Talagang he has been a performer sa lahat ng naging performances niya with XPT's games. I think he was the shining player nung mga times na naglalaro sila against really good teams. I think I remember him being a good force from that Rhea 7 game. I think he was also positive as well nung kinalaban nila yung Sunday Shunes both on Black Widow as well as nung port game nila last time. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that Kristan's gonna be here to stay dito sa team ng Xypher Pro team ngayon. So I think a lot of flowers also could be given up to the support as well. But for the match MVP, talaga nga namang si Kristan nga ang magiging panalo dito.
Ngayon nga, take a look at the set or match MVP highlights. Kristan, shots over shots para sa kanya dito. And yun nga, not a surprise. Yeah, Kristan providing some very good highlights kagaya na nakita ka dito sa sub-base map. And ayun nga, I mean overall, just like how I said, probably the most consistent, probably the best player dito na merong ito yung XPT, and I hope to see a lot more galing sa kanya dito pare.
Talaga pare, as it will be a win para dito sa Xypher Pro team, continuously improving in the standings. Week by week, they find an opportunity para mas magiging better team sila compared to the last week. At ngayon, it is no different. Congratulations sa XPT and NT para sa Vengeance ngayon. No? They put up a good fight, especially doon sa Ankara map nila, pero wala. Naging overwhelming na yung force ng XPT. Nung naging komportable sila by the end of it. So that is gonna be it for XPT versus Vengeance sa ating first series of the day. Sana nag-enjoy kayo dyan, mga Crossfire tropa. Sana naman ay magiging exciting din ang magiging matchup natin sa susunod na ating BO3. At honestly, I'm looking forward to it as much as you are. It is Heroics versus Matt Jess, the battle for both our top 4 teams. Will Matt Jess solidify themselves at the top of the leaderboard, or will Heroics slowly build up themselves up to top 2? Ikaw ba, Sneaky Frog, before anything, may gusto bang sabihin tungkol sa matchup na to?
Let's go Heroics. Let's see, man. Let's see, bro. Let's go Heroics.
Alright. May prediction na tayo from Sneaky Frog. Heroics for him. Pero for us, mukhang malaking question mark pa yan kung paano tayo ipapasok dito sa game na to. Pero until then, ang pala si Ramon, kasama ko si Sneaky Frog. This has been the first series of the day dito sa CFSPH Impact Summer 2025, and we'll see you later on after this break.